What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 12 TR Chapter 216, The Invincible Izanagi, the 10k Izanami. Ps. The one in the previous chapter is 10,000 times, not 10 million times. I made a mistake. First, Beiji technique was interrupted, immediately afterwards. Bang. With a muffled sound, Sasuke fell to the ground in a tilted position, and there happened to be a piece of granite underneath. Immediately his head exploded and his brains splattered all over the floor. Sasuke. 100 meters away, Shang Phosphorus screamed shrilly. It's not that she didn't know that Sasuke knew Izanagi, but the so-called concern was chaos. Seeing Sasuke's head exploded, she couldn't think of Izanagi. She wanted to fly to Sasuke immediately and rescue him. Garda, the ninja eagle, couldn't help but cry sadly, and without any urging, it spread its wings and flew towards Sasuke. But as soon as it flew a certain distance, it entered the overweight zone, and its body suddenly became 10 times heavier. Under 10 times the gravity, the ninja eagle and the fragrant phosphorus on its back immediately fell downwards. Fortunately, after falling a certain distance, it was out of the range of the super heavy field. It immediately flapped its wings to stabilize its body, but it did not dare to continue flying towards Sasuke. He only dared to hover in place and kept moaning. Consuming 100 calories of chakra, a 10 times super heavy field was created, with a coverage radius of 100 meters and a duration of 100 seconds. Within 100 meters, all living and dead creatures, except himself, will be affected by gravity. Mizuki was hanging dozens of meters in the air, quietly looking at Sasuke below, not caring. Even if she fell to her death, Mizuki didn't bother to reach out to save her. He rescued her from Sao Ninja Village and gave her money and a house, including food and accommodation, so that she could be safe and worry-free in Fenghuang Village. But she ran with Sasuke without saying hello. After Sasuke killed Kakashi, she sensed it immediately, but deliberately concealed it, and then ran away with Sasuke. Now Sasuke comes to kill him, and she goes with him, obviously wearing the same pants as Sasuke. She would do anything for Sasuke. Such a person is a total love nymphomaniac and can give up on everything except Sasuke in his mind. Little Sakura can also sneak attack to kill Sasuke for the sake of Konoha. And now Sasuke is the only one who cares. Mizuki would be merciful if he didn't take the initiative to attack her. Mizuki waited patiently, he knew Sasuke wasn't dead. Izanagi's technique is still disgusting. It is difficult to kill, especially the upgraded Izanagi, which turns Sasuke directly into an unkillable weakling. But Mizuki isn't worried. After transplanting the Rinnegan, Sasuke only has one Sharingan left, and Izanagi can last up to 100 minutes. Moreover, when Izanagi is turned on, a large amount of chakra will be consumed every second. With the amount of Sasuke's chakra, coupled with the natural energy in Sage mode, it is very good to be able to support Izanagi's continuous activation for 60 minutes. Therefore, even if he is exhausted, Mizuki can consume him to death. At this moment, Sasuke's body on the ground suddenly turned into nothing and disappeared. Behind Mizuki, Sasuke suddenly appeared. He was holding a Kusanagi sword and stabbed Mizuki in the back. Die. Sasuke was swollen, seeing the Kusanagi sword about to penetrate Mizuki's body. But the super heavy realm was still there, and Kusanagi sword, together with Sasuke, fell rapidly again. Damn it, what kind of jutsu is this? Sasuke roared angrily. This time, he forcibly turned his body and looked upwards. When he was about to hit the ground, he activated his transformation. The target is none other than Mizuki. Sasuke's position and Mizuki's position instantly switched. The imagined scene of Mizuki falling to his death on his behalf did not appear. Even though Mizuki was apparated near the ground, he was still floating and had no tendency to fall. Sasuke, on the other hand, reappeared dozens of meters in the air, falling faster. Damn it, I will never suffer the same death again. He didn't want to fall to his death again. Apparition. Sasuke chose a stone on the ground and instantly switched places. But even so, the inertia was still there, and his falling speed did not slow down at all. Bang, advertisement, he fell to his death again. Izanagi took effect again, and this time Sasuke did not appear behind Mizuki, but stood dozens of meters away. This time he stood on the ground and would not fall to his death again. But under 10 times gravity, he felt uncomfortable all over. Although, in Sage mode, his strength is greatly increased and he can even lift boulders weighing dozens of tons. A mere 10 times gravity will not cause any harm to him. But he was not used to it, and every move he made was more laborious than usual. In this state, his combat effectiveness was greatly reduced. It seems that physical skills are of no use anymore. In that case, use your new abilities. With both eyes fixed on Mizuki, the Rinnegan in the left eye activated Kamui, while the Sharingan in the right eye also activated Izanagi. Mizuki immediately felt the spatial fluctuations. The space on the left side of my chest is distorting. Want to use Kamui to destroy my heart? In addition, he also noticed a strange force shrouding himself. This power gave him a very fatal feeling. This power fluctuation comes from his Sharingan, which seems to be Izanagi, but Izanagi obviously can only affect himself. Sasuke's Izanagi, improved by Sage of 6 Paths. Izanagi can use it on himself to rewrite the reality that is unfavorable to him and only retain the reality that is beneficial to him. Through Izanagi, Any damage can be avoided, and Sasuke's Izanagi can be used on the enemy, rewriting the reality that is beneficial to the enemy, and only retaining the reality that is detrimental to the enemy. In this way, the enemy can be hit 100% of the time. Sasuke had used this move before when facing Konoha outside Phoenix Village. But Mizuki was sleeping and had no time to learn the information after he woke up, so he had no foresight of Sasuke's new abilities. Therefore, he felt very unfamiliar with the power that enveloped him. Forget it, no matter what kind of pupil technique it is, it doesn't matter. With absolute strength, all crooked ways are just fancy. No more time wasted. Apparition. Mizuki appeared a few meters behind Sasuke, and at the same time he had an extra Sharingan in his left hand. The next moment, the palm of the hand liquefied to form an eye socket, and a Sharingan was embedded in the eye socket. Izanagi is not unsolvable. Next, Mizuki will activate Izanami to put Sasuke into an endless loop. But at this moment, the Izanagi that Sasuke had just applied to Mizuki took effect. Mizuki's body suddenly turned into nothing and disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already standing where he was just now. Go to hell. Kamui, Sasuke sneered. Kamui exploded completely, and the power of space enveloped Mizuki's entire left chest. Under the distortion of space, Mizuki's heart seemed to be deforming. Mizuki's expression changed drastically. How is this going? Is it a time-based ninjutsu? Did he use time reversal on me? He was clearly behind Sasuke and was about to use Izanami's power, but suddenly he was back in the distance. This isn't going back in time, so what is it? Sasuke's Kamui began to erupt, feeling intense discomfort in his chest. Mizuki didn't dare to eat one, so he immediately used Flying Thunder God to fly away, dozens of miles away. But as soon as he landed, before he could see his surroundings clearly, his body immediately turned into nothing and reappeared on the same spot. Still under the shadow of Sasuke Kamui. Damn it, how did he get this ability? Mizuki cast Kamui Hollow again, but it still didn't work. As soon as he entered the hollow, the bubble appeared the next moment and he returned to the entity. It's like time has gone backwards again. Sasuke laughed and said, it's useless. You have fallen into my Izanagi, your reality has been rewritten, and everything that happens next will be detrimental to you. No matter what method you use, you can't escape. Mizuki looked cold but relaxed. It turns out that it's not time that goes back, but Izanagi. Advertisement. As long as it's not beyond your ability to understand, it doesn't matter. He used Disapparation again, ducked behind Sasuke, and Rasengan hit Sasuke on the head. Snapped. Sasuke's head is blooming. But the next moment, bubbles appeared on Mizuki and Sasuke. Sasuke returned to his original position, Mizuki returned to his original position, and Kamui still loomed over Mizuki. Mizuki narrowed his eyes. Sasuke's Izanagi actually works on himself and the enemy at the same time. The difference is that it is beneficial to himself and detrimental to others. There is no solution. Give up, all your struggles will be in vain. Mizuki couldn't help but cursed. How disgusting. This new method of using Izanagi is really powerful. He can't even escape. If he escapes, he is forcefully pulled back. However, Mizuki also found that Sasuke's Kamui was unable to take effect due to his continuous evasion. In other words, as long as Mizuki keeps dodging around and is not attacked by Kamui continuously, there will be no danger. Oh, then I won't worry anymore. As long as I continue to change positions, there is no danger to my life. Mizuki breathed a sigh of relief. In this way, he could stall for time until Sasuke's chakra was exhausted, and he would be worry-free. But this will definitely consume a lot of time. Sasuke casts Kamui while casting Izanagi, and the chakra is consumed quickly. But he is in Sage mode and has a large amount of chakra, and he can last for half an hour even with minimal use. Half an hour is too long, let's deal with him in advance. Anyway, he masters Izanagi, so this technique must be used, otherwise he cannot be controlled. The next moment, he flashed in front of Sasuke, slapped Sasuke on the face with his left hand, snatched the Kusanagi sword from Sasuke's hand with his right hand, and chopped off one of the horns on Sasuke's head. The broken corners were on the ground. The newly transplanted Sharingan in the palm of Mizuki's left hand has turned pale. Izanami, activated successfully. You have fallen into my spell, you are already under my control. Next, you will lose yourself in an endless cycle. This is it, Izanami. Sasuke sneered. It's useless, stop struggling, you're dead. As soon as he finished speaking, Mizuki turned into nothing and returned to his original position. The broken horn on the ground returned to Sasuke's head intact. Although your continuous displacement prevented Kamui from being completely locked, which greatly delayed the time of death. However, every time you go back to the original place, Kamui will cause small injuries to your heart. If you add up to a few small injuries, your heart will be completely damaged within 10 times. You can't hold on much longer. Just then, Mizuki stepped in front of Sasuke again. His left hand slapped Sasuke on the face, his right hand dodged the Kusanagi sword, and cut off a horn on Sasuke's head with one sword. The severed horn lay on the ground in the same position as before. You have fallen into my spell, you are already under my control. Next, you will lose yourself in an endless cycle. This is it, Izanami. Sasuke. Why don't you give up? It's all in vain. The bubble appeared again, Mizuki returned to his original position, the broken horn on the ground returned to Sasuke's head, and the Kusanagi sword returned to Sasuke's hand. Sasuke didn't realize the seriousness of the problem yet. The next moment, Mizuki stepped in front of him again, and Sasuke pulled over. Mizuki looked at Sasuke, who had dull eyes in front of him and was immersed in Izanami, with murderous intent surging in his eyes. But after all, he did not kill immediately. Shaking his left hand, the useless Sharingan fell to the ground. Izanami's technique is still powerful. Without Izanami, it would be quite difficult to restrain Sasuke without killing him. Izanagi is too incomprehensible. Since Sasuke has taken it, let's resurrect Minato tomorrow. By the way, there was another system returned just now. What was it? Chapter 217. There are levels of immortality. System, play it again. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Uchiha Sasuke Mount Myoboku Senjutsu cultivation method. Remaining. Triggering a 10,000 times return. Close black lens bracket. Why add the word, disabled? Is it because Naruto left Mount Myoboku early and did not learn the complete Mount Myoboku Senjutsu? Naruto was able to master Sage Mode later with the help of Toad Immortal Brew. Even with the help of Toad Immortal Brew, Naruto directly mastered the perfect magic technique. You can turn on Sage Mode instantly. It doesn't matter. If you return it 10,000 times, even the incomplete cultivation method can be completed. At this time the system explained. The reason why it is an incomplete training method is not because Uzumaki Naruto left Mount Myoboku early, but because the Senjutsu training method taught to Naruto by Mount Myoboku itself is incomplete. Close black lens bracket. Even if Uzumaki Naruto stays in Mount Myoboku for a longer time and practices the training method to the ultimate, the final Sage Mode, it will still be incomplete. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki was confused. According to the system, Mount Myoboku's Senjutsu training method itself is defective? So he asked, what does the complete method of practicing immortality look like? System answer. Complete immortal art cultivation method. After successful practice, the chakra in the body will be completely transformed into immortal art chakra. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket all the time, not in Sage Mode. Close black lens bracket. Isn't this what I said before, permanent Sage Mode? The Toad Fairy Brew returned by the system was mentioned in the introduction. If you have a basic knowledge of magic, you can immediately achieve Sage Mode by drinking 1 sip, perfect Sage Mode by drinking 3 sips, and permanent Sage Mode by drinking 1 bottle. Naruto drank 3 sips and perfected Sage Mode, which could be opened instantly. Sage of 6 Paths Otsutsuki Hagoromo, will you become a permanent Sage Mode? From this point of view, Mount Myoboku does not have a complete Senjutsu training method, otherwise it would be impossible for Sage of 6 Paths to become a permanent Sage Mode. It's just that the Senjutsu training method they taught Naruto is incomplete. Not only Naruto, but also Jiraiya and Namikaze Minato received incomplete Senjutsu training methods. Only Sage of 6 Paths was able to obtain the complete training method. Those toads are quite defensive. Forget it, system, please continue broadcasting. Congratulations to host, you have obtained the full version of the SSS-level magic cultivation method, close black lens bracket. Mizuki shook his head. Where do we start talking about this SSS level? Are there levels in the cultivation of immortal arts? System, what does SSS level mean? Is there any difference between it and Mount Myoboku Senjutsu training method? Host, don't worry, even if you don't ask, the system will explain it. Close black lens bracket. As you might expect, there are indeed strong and weak methods for cultivating immortal arts. The difference lies in the proportion of natural energy in chakra. Close black lens bracket. The higher the proportion of natural energy, the stronger the strength will be. Close black lens bracket. Mount Myoboku's Sage Mode is a blend of physical energy, mental energy, and natural energy in a ratio of 1 to 1. Close black lens bracket. According to the system evaluation, Mount Myoboku's Senjutsu training method is rated a level. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Mizuki's eyes suddenly lit up. A level is so powerful, so isn't SSS level so powerful that it's heaven-defying? The system continued to explain. A level Sage Mode allows a Cage level expert to immediately increase his strength to Super Cage level. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki nodded. For example, for a strong Cage level player like Jiraiya, after turning on Sage Mode, his strength immediately rises to beyond Cage level. If he hadn't known about Pain's abilities, Rain Shinobi Village would not have been defeated in the battle. S-level Sage Mode, the ratio of physical energy, mental energy, and natural energy is 1 to 1. 2, which can make a Cage level strongman's strength directly climb to the peak of Super Cage level, infinitely close to 6 Paths level, reaching the level of invincibility below 6 Paths. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki wanted to complain. Super Shadow is Super Shadow, and here comes the Super Shadow peak. Why divide it so finely? However, the classification of the system is not unreasonable. They are both Super Shadows, and their strengths are also strong and weak. For example, Pain is a Super Shadow, and Senju Hashirama is also a Super Shadow, but Pain is absolutely impossible to be Hashirama's opponent. So there is nothing wrong with the system saying this. SS level Sage Mode, the ratio of physical energy, mental energy, and natural energy is 1 to 1. 4, which can allow a Cage level strongman to rise to the 6 Paths level for the first time. Close black lens bracket. SSS-level Sage Mode, the ratio of physical energy, mental energy, and natural energy is 1:1. 8, which can allow a Kage-level expert to reach the peak of 6 paths. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki frowned. Can you only reach the peak of 6 paths? From this point of view, this SSS-level magic is not as good as the 9-gate Dunjia. 9-gate Dunjia, after opening the 9 gates, can surpass the 6 paths level. System. Host. How can you compare like this? Close black lens bracket. The examples just given in this system are all Kage-level experts. Close black lens bracket. If you are a super Kage-level expert, then in SSS-level Sage Mode, your strength will be even stronger, and surpassing 6 paths is inevitable. Close black lens bracket. In other words, the strength in Sage Mode is based on one's own basic strength. The stronger one's own strength, the stronger one will be in Sage Mode, and vice versa. Close black lens bracket. The 9-gate Dunjia has its limits, and it can only be upgraded to beyond the 6 paths level at most, and cannot get any stronger. Close black lens bracket. In other words, when the caster's own strength exceeds the 6 paths level, and then opens the 9 doors dungeon, the increase in strength can be ignored. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki nodded. In this way, a mortal technique is indeed stronger than Jiaman Dunjia. In other words, SSS-level magic has a higher upper limit. By the way, this SSS-level magic training method is the same as the super heavy field. Can I learn it directly? The system denied. I just helped host learn the overweight field, and the energy stored in the system has been exhausted, and it can no longer help host practice immortality. Close black lens bracket. Host is also asked to explore on his own. Close black lens bracket. As soon as the words fell, something new appeared in Mizuki's mind. It is exactly the method of practicing SSS-level magic. Then when can you store enough ability to help me learn it directly? Open black lens bracket. Half a year later. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki. F*K. Half a year is too long, forget it, let's explore it slowly on your own. The training methods given by the system are very detailed step by step, and the training should not be difficult. Sasuke has solved it. Let's wait until Orochimaru seizes the body tomorrow to see if the return can be triggered. Advertisement. A space vortex appears, sucking Sasuke into Kamui's space. At this moment, Shang Phosphorus rushed over. Stop. She's coming to save Sasuke. Mizuki glanced at him lightly and ignored him. At this moment, 5 iron ropes suddenly emerged from Shang Lian's back and wrapped around Mizuki. These are the adamantine sealing chains of the Uzumaki clan, a sealing technique powerful enough to suppress tailed beasts. Mizuki turned his head, his left eye immediately turned into a Sharingan, and his high pupil skills directly covered the fragrant phosphorus. The iron rope immediately lost its strength and dissipated into nothingness. High Yuhun life cannot be effective against Sasuke, because High Yuhun life cannot disrupt Senju Chakra, and Sharingan eye technique will be suppressed by Rinnegan. But it can't be used against Sasuke, but it's more than enough against you. As he spoke, Sasuke was sucked into the Kamui dimension. Mizuki glanced at Shang Lian one last time and said calmly, "You can go. When I rescued you from Kusanagi village, I thought I was wrong. You are no longer welcome in Phoenix village." But Shang Phosphorus prayed with a face full of pleading. "Please, let Sasuke go, he is still so young and has a bright future. And he is your disciple. For the sake of master and disciple, let him go this time." Mizuki sneered. He is also Kakashi's disciple. Why didn't he let Kakashi go for the sake of the master-disciple relationship? When he attacked me just now, was he even half-hearted? If Sasuke shows any repentance, Mizuki is not willing to kill him. This kind of person doesn't deserve to live. Needless to say, my decision will not change. Or, Uchiha Itachi used the distinguished heavenly gods to force Sasuke to change. No, Sasuke is not that kind of person. He took Kakashi's Rinnegan just to borrow it for revenge. Although he killed Kakashi, he will resurrect Kakashi in the future. I'll kill you and resurrect you later, and that's it? Do you want to praise him for his kindness? Mizuki was speechless. Put down the butcher's knife and become a Buddha immediately? Can we write off the mistakes we have made? But the changed Sasuke will only return to Konoha and inherit Uchiha Itachi's legacy of protecting Konoha. Is this human language? Maybe, Sasuke will change after Uchiha Itachi's death. Where can I be willing to accept fragrant phosphorus? Mizuki is determined. If there's a next time, I won't hold back. But so what? He just wanted to use your Rinnegan when he attacked you. Even if he kills you, he will resurrect you. Stealing other people's attention, when it comes to your mouth, becomes borrowing? Mizuki-sama, please let him go. He is just blinded by hatred. As long as he succeeds in revenge, he will change his mind immediately. Don't think about revenge for Sasuke, you don't have the strength. Chapter 218. Smashing the Tsuchikage building, the creaking system. Shang Phosphorus is also a poor person. Her childhood was not much happier than Naruto's. Mizuki brought her back to Phoenix Village with the intention of taking her as a disciple. After all, she still had some talent. It's a pity that he is a lover and is willing to follow Sasuke all the way to the end. Mizuki is not a bloodthirsty person. Even if Kosovo attacks, her original intention is to save Sasuke, not to kill Mizuki. Of course, the main reason is that Phosphorus poses no threat to Mizuki. Suddenly there was a sound of wind above the head, and a black figure rushed towards him quickly. It was Sasuke's ninja eagle Garda, a pair of sharp iron claws, clawing straight at Mizuki's head. If this is done properly, it can make several holes in Mizuki's head. It wants to save Sasuke too. A cold light flashed in Mizuki's eyes, and a black rod came out of his palm. But just when he was about to take action, he suddenly grinned. You are a loyal beast, the exact opposite of your master. In that case, let me spare your life. Mizuki looked up and the ninja hawk immediately fell into the illusion, flapped its wings and flew away into the distance. Activate Flying Thunder God and Mizuki disappears. Looking at the empty ground, tears rolled out of Xiangling's eyes. Sasuke, she could only collapse on the ground and scream in despair. She regretted why she didn't dissuade Sasuke, although I know it will be difficult for Sasuke to be persuaded by me, but what if I succeed? If I had just run away, I should have been able to escape. Unfortunately, there is no regret medicine in the world. Mizuki did not return to Phoenix Village, but came to Rock Shinobi Village. Above Rock Shinobi Village, Mizuki looked at Rock Shinobi Village below, and finally targeted the Tsuchikage building. Tengai Shinsei. At this time, in Rock Shinobi Village, the remaining high-rise residents gathered in the Tsuchikage building. These people include elders, Tsuchikage advisors, and heads of major families. There were more than a dozen of them, all elderly, sitting around the oval stone table. Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame, how far are they from Rock Shinobi Village? Elder A asked. He had a bad idea before and was kicked out of Tsuchikage building by Onoki. But now that Onoki is away, he is the one with the most say in Rock Shinobi Village. And Anbu replied, it's less than 50 miles away. According to their speed, they will arrive within an hour. Elder A nodded and said, in that case, send 2 Anbu teams to intercept. He smiled and said, just 2 people dared to attack our Rock Shinobi Village, and they were so blatant. I have to say that the Akatsuki organization was also driven into panic. Don't worry, everyone, everything will be fine. Anbu is an elite in the village. We will see each other's bodies soon. After Elder A finished speaking, someone immediately echoed his words. Yeah, there's no need to worry at all. The same goes for Tsuchikage-sama. Making such a fuss has put all of us on alert. I think it's really unnecessary. Rock Shinobi Village is one of the 5 great shinobi villages after all. It has a strong foundation. Not to mention Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame, we are not afraid even if the entire Akatsuki organization comes. They are confident and have ease written all over their faces. On the contrary, I felt that Onoki was making a fuss out of a molehill. Elder C frowned and said, no, Hoshigaki Kisame doesn't have much information, but Uchiha Itachi is a ruthless man who killed the entire Uchiha clan with just one person. We have seen the strength of the Uchiha clan during the Second Ninja War and the Third Ninja War. For Uchiha Itachi to be able to do this, his strength cannot be underestimated. Advertisement, I think we should be more conservative. It's best not to confront Anbu head-on when we send him out, but just hold them back until Master Tsuchikage comes back with his masters. Then everything will be fine. After Elder C finished speaking, someone immediately responded. Yeah, don't be careless. Tsuchikage-sama brought his people back, and even the tailed beast gave up, which shows that he takes this matter very seriously. All the masters in the village have gone to the bird country. It's a time of emptiness. The people here are divided into 3 factions. One group agreed with Elder A's statement, one group agreed with Elder C's suggestion, and the other group disagreed with everyone and sat there silently. They are supporters of Elder B. Unfortunately, Elder B went to take a bath in a hot spring and drowned the person. He has not been found yet. The search continues, but everyone has given up hope. In addition, the disappearance of Elder B also made them realize that a master had infiltrated the village. So now Rock Shinobi Village has begun martial law, and there is no one on the street. The 2 groups of people were still arguing. Elder A slammed the table and said loudly, why are you arguing? Since we can't agree on the same opinions, let's contact Mr. Tsuchikage and ask him to make a decision. Elder C. Okay, contact Master Tsuchikage immediately. At this moment, everyone felt that the light suddenly dimmed. Elder A frowned, thinking that the sky was cloudy. He turned to look out the window, but found that the sun was shining brightly on the street not far away. The shadow seemed to obscure only the Tsuchikage building. The light was getting darker and darker, and there was an obvious sense of oppression in the sky. Everyone finally realized something was wrong. The next moment, the alarm bell rang loudly throughout Rock Shinobi Village, and something touched the perception barrier. No, there is a large-scale attack from the air. Elder C's expression changed drastically. And Anbu immediately jumped out of the window, looked up at the sky, and was dumbfounded. Meteorite, a meteorite has fallen. At the same time, he also saw Mizuki floating in the air. That's Mizuki. Mizuki is not dead. This is the meteorite he made. He came to take revenge on us. This Anbu shouted loudly, and while shouting, he used the body flicker technique to fly away. When the elders and clan leaders heard the word, meteorite, their first reaction was, it's over. The next moment, the meteorite struck down, and the conical spire of the Tsuchikage building collapsed instantly. Meteorites continue to fall, destroying wherever they fall. People in the building first felt the ground shaking violently, then heard a roar above their heads, and then knew nothing. Including 2 elders and more than a dozen clan leaders, they were all killed instantly by the impact of the meteorite. The Tsuchikage building was completely gone, leaving only a meteorite with a diameter of tens of meters in place, half sunken into the ground and half exposed on the ground. In the Tsuchikage building, hundreds of people died under the meteorite. In addition to the Tsuchikage building, the surrounding buildings were also affected, but the damage was not extensive. Only some houses of poor quality collapsed. It was Mizuki who controlled the size of the meteorite and the speed at which it fell, otherwise at least half of Rock Shinobi Village would be destroyed. Onoki colluded with Jiraiya and Gumamaru almost got himself killed, and Mizuki destroyed the Tsuchikage building, which was a small revenge. But revenge is revenge, and civilians are innocent. Mizuki is not a murderer like Kakuzu Hidan. He doesn't want to become a murderer, so he deliberately controls the power of the meteorite and has no intention of destroying the entire Rock Shinobi Village. Looking down, Mizuki sneered. Haha, Onoki, let you harm me. Onoki teamed up with Gumamaru to kill Mizuki. This hatred cannot be settled by destroying the Tsuchikage building. Onoki must die, and he must kill it with his own hands. But Mizuki did not find Onoki immediately. He wanted to wait until Onoki returned to the village and saw the destroyed Tsuchikage building before taking action. Now, let's capture 5 tails. Advertisement using the Flying Thunder God to return to Phoenix Village. Mizuki found Kushina and gave Kushina a hair from the 5 tails Jinchuriki Han that he had collected previously. Whose hair is this? Kushina asked curiously. Mizuki. This is the hair of 5 tails Jinchuriki Han from Rock Shinobi Village. Kushina nodded, and then asked, are you going to capture 5 tails? I'm curious, why are you capturing so many tailed beasts? With your strength, Phoenix Village doesn't need tailed beasts at all. Mizuki was stunned. Yes, I have captured so many tailed beasts, but now they are all used as decorations. Isn't this in vain? I had clearly planned before that if I gave the tailed beast to my apprentice, I would have to return it to the system. Damn it, Kushina didn't ask, I would have forgotten. With Nobita's current strength, it's enough to become Jinchuriki. In that case, let's give tailed beasts away starting next month. Unfortunately, this time the Rock Shinobi Village Chunin exam ended after only one final due to Mount Myoboku's intervention. In the end, only Naruto became a Chunin, and the number of apprentices in the system only increased by 2. The number of disciples is still too few. Sighing, Mizuki's hatred for Mount Myoboku and Rock Shinobi Village became even stronger. And this time, I thought the 5 major nations would attack Phoenix Village and seize the tailed beasts by force. The result was good, they actually retreated. Mizuki also expects that as soon as the 5 major nations attack Phoenix Village, he will immediately issue a wartime promotion mission so that all his disciples can be promoted to Chunin or even Jonin. As a result, the plan could not keep up with the changes, and the anticipation was in vain. Hey, he sighed. There's a long way to go, Kushina said. Why are you sighing? The 5 major countries have left, and Gumamaru failed to attack the village. The situation in Phoenix Village is excellent. You should be happy. Mizuki shook his head. There was no way to explain this. But suddenly, an idea flashed in his mind. System, come out. He called to the system in his mind. Open black lens bracket. What's the matter, host? Close black lens bracket. Mizuki said. Gumamaru attacks Phoenix Village. Is this considered a war? System. Open black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. Strictly speaking, it counts. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki. In that case, Naruto defeated Gumamaru and protected Phoenix Village. Does this count as completing a high-level wartime mission? The system was silent for a while, then squeaked. This. That. This. Okay, that counts. Mizuki asked hurriedly. In this case, Naruto has completed the high-level wartime mission, and his strength has already reached the standard. In the name of first-generation Hokage, I appoint him as Jonin. Is that okay? System. You are the shadow, you have the final say. Close black lens bracket. Note that the appointment letter needs to be signed in person and announced to the entire village. Close black lens bracket. The corners of Mizuki's mouth turned up in a happy smile. Let me ask you about the system. How many disciples can I get if my disciple is upgraded from Chunin to Jonin? System. Same as Genin being promoted to Chunin, there are also 2. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki frowned, feeling a little shortchanged. He asked again. Can Jonin continue to upgrade and bring new disciples? For example, I give up the position of Kakashi to Naruto or something. System. There are only 3 levels of ninja, Genin, Chunin, and Jonin. The so-called shadows are only in name, so even if Naruto becomes Hokage, there will be no new disciples. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki was slightly disappointed. All right, I want to gather more wool, but unfortunately the system has blocked the way forward. He turned to look at Kushina and said, put aside the search for 5 tails Jinchuriki. I have more important things to deal with now. After saying that, Mizuki directly entered Kamui's space. Naruto, wake up, chapter 219. Naruto becomes Jonin, Mizuki's ambition. Naruto slept like a pig, and Mizuki barked several times without waking him up. Damn, sleep like this, Mizuki goes straight to the big move. Kicked Naruto over and made him lie on the ground. Then, raise your hands and form a seal, hey hey. The ultimate secret of physical arts, 1,000 years of death. The next moment, Naruto jumped out like a frog and screamed for 30 miles. "Ah, master, what are you doing?" Naruto rubbed his butt and limped back. Mizuki laughed and said, "Haha, just a little joke. Now, I want to wake you up. I have two things to tell you. One is a bad thing and the other is a good thing. Which one do you want to listen to first?" One good thing and one bad thing. Naruto had just woken up and was still a little confused. Let's hear the bad stuff first. Most people will hear bad things first. Because something sweet first and then bitter is always inferior to something bitter first and then sweet. Mizuki nodded, the smile fading from his face. "Sasuke, I've taken care of you." Sasuke is not dead yet, but Mizuki will not tell Naruto that Sasuke's body will be given to Orochimaru. After all, this is inhumane. Naruto was silent, a trace of sadness, a trace of helplessness, and a trace of regret flashed in his eyes. "Don't worry, master, I understand. Since Sasuke has taken action against teacher Kakashi, it means that he has completely degenerated, and death is his rightful place. Even if you don't take action, master, you will when I meet him." Mizuki nodded. It's okay for Naruto to think about it, but he is afraid that Sasuke's death will make him unable to accept it and create a gap in his heart. After all, Naruto in the anime has always been reluctant to kill Sasuke. Then, the second thing. Congratulations, Naruto, from today on, you are the Jonin of Phoenix Village. Naruto's eyes lit up. Great, I'm actually a Jonin. But master, I didn't even take the Jonin exam, why did I suddenly become a Jonin? Mizuki explained. In peacetime, for Genin to be promoted to Chunin, he needs to take the Chunin exam. For Chunin to be promoted to Jonin, in addition to meeting the strength standards, he also needs to complete specific assessment tasks. Only after meeting the requirements can he become a Jonin. But during war, the improvement of ninja level is slightly different. In times of war, ninjas can rely on military merit to increase their level. This time when Tamamaru comes to Phoenix Village, it can be considered an invasion war. Tamamaru is powerful enough to destroy Phoenix Village, so this is a war to destroy the village. You defeated Gamamaru with one blow and protected Phoenix Village. You are now the hero of Phoenix Village, and your name will be remembered by the villagers. Naruto's eyes lit up when he heard the word, hero. His own father, Namikaze Minato, is also a hero. Now that he has become a hero, this strong sense of honor makes his heart surge. You protected the village, and you are strong enough to hold the position of Jonin. After explaining, Mizuki took Naruto out of Kamui's space. Then, he summoned Tsunade Kushina and others to the office, and under the witness of everyone, appointed Naruto as Jonin and signed the Jonin appointment letter. Naruto, from today on, you are officially a Jonin of Phoenix Village. As a Jonin, your burdens have increased. First of all, you have to take on the important responsibility of protecting the village. Secondly, you must contribute your own strength to the peace of the ninja world. Naruto nodded heavily, his eyes particularly determined. Well, I will definitely protect the village and the peace of the ninja world. I will also firmly protect it. Mizuki smiled. He stood up and patted Naruto on the shoulder, saying, "Not bad, I hope you keep your heart." Advertisement. In addition, what I want to say is that the peace of the ninja world cannot be protected. Even the Sage of Six Paths cannot protect peace. The ninja world is still in constant war, with countless casualties. Naruto immediately asked, "Then how should we get peace?" Mizuki shook his head. Absolute peace is just a fantasy, and war is the main theme of human history. We can only pursue a phased peace and extend it as long as possible. Naruto asked again, "How can we extend the time of peace?" Mizuki did not answer, but asked, "What do you understand by war?" Naruto thought for a moment and replied, "It's a fight between countries for their own benefit." Mizuki nodded. Not bad, so, what would happen if there was only one country in the ninja world? As soon as these words came out, Naruto immediately began to think, and Tsunade's expression changed on the side. She immediately asked, "Mizuki, what do you want to do?" Others, such as Kushina, Hyuga Hazashi, Zabuza and other experienced people, also frowned at Mizuki. Mizuki smiled and said, "Obviously, I want to unify the ninja world. I want to make this ninja world have only one political power." At this moment, Mizuki's ambition was completely exposed. Since the establishment of Phoenix Village, he has had the idea of unifying the ninja world. How can you not do something spectacular when traveling through time? Besides, once the shinobi world is truly unified, peace will be simple. Think of the war-torn spring and autumn period Sengoku, and then think of the Qin dynasty after unifying the Six Kingdoms. That period was more peaceful, it's clear to see. Qin Shi Huang died early, causing the situation to become chaotic again. But Mizuki is not afraid. He has a grievance and wants to live as long as he wants, enough to suppress all changes and will not follow in the footsteps of Qin Shi Huang. Therefore, unifying the ninja world can not only realize Mizuki's ambition, but also bring benefits to the ninja world. No, Tsunade shouted. This is absolutely not possible. If we want to unify, all the countries in the ninja world will definitely fall into war. By then, there will be rivers of blood and countless casualties. Even if they are finally unified and peace is achieved, it is a false peace that was bought with killing and blood. Hatred is still buried in people's hearts, passed down from generation to generation, waiting to explode. Mizuki didn't explain much. How do these natives of the ninja world know the benefits of unification? Their knowledge has limited their thinking. No matter how much Mizuki says, it will not be accepted in a short time. But there is still one reason to say, it is imperative to unify the ninja world. There are powerful enemies outside the ninja world. The Otsutsuki clan will soon come to the ninja world. Their strength is beyond imagination. If the ninja world is not unified and the power of the ninja world is not concentrated, then sooner or later the Otsutsuki clan will defeat them one by one, and eventually lead to complete destruction. Of course, in the process of reunification, if we can do it without force, then we don't need force. I'll try to find other ways. Tsunade frowned. To resist the Otsutsuki, we must first unify. In this case, I'm afraid that before Otsutsuki comes, the ninja world will be plunged into war and destroy itself if not careful. She asked. How do you know that the Otsutsuki clan will come? You have never left the ninja world, where does the information come from? Mizuki smiled and did not continue. Anyway, no matter how much I say now, Tsunade and the others won't believe it. About the Otsutsuki clan, I will explain it later. In order to make you believe it, I will first find evidence. Naruto, I will give you a mission now. The level of this mission is S-level. Naruto came to his senses and asked, S-level, what kind of mission is it? Mizuki replied, looking for a monk named Sishion. In this person's body, there is a master of the Otsutsuki clan named Otsutsuki Ashiki. Only by finding the Otsutsuki Ashiki can you realize the power of the Otsutsuki clan. The strength of Yi Shi is very strong, but no matter how strong he was still not as strong as Naruto in the 9-door state. Even if Naruto only opens the 8 gate, he can defeat one style. But through this move, people in the village can know the power of the Otsutsuki clan, and then they will be less opposed to Mizuki's plan to unify the ninja world, and even agree with it. Immediately afterwards, Mizuki told Zan's physical characteristics. Advertisement soon the meeting ended and everyone dispersed. Shiro and Hinata, please wait before leaving. Mizuki leaves the two behind. System. Let's start. Congratulations to host. Disciple Uzumaki Naruto has been successfully promoted to Jonin, and the maximum number of disciples accepted by the system has been increased by 2. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki smiled. Very good, Shiro, Hinata. I have decided to accept you as my disciples. Are you willing? Your strength has been greatly enhanced with the blessing of the magical chakra, but it is still not enough. I will find ways to improve your strength. Although Shiro and Hinata were confused, how could they disagree with Mizuki accepting a disciple? I do too. Mizuki nodded and smiled. Open the attribute bar, and the disciple column has changed. Open black lens bracket host. Mizuki close black lens bracket. Remaining lifespan, 1600 years. Chakra. Normal chakra 8475 Kakashi. Immortal chakra 5650 Kakashi. Chakra reply. 0.25 Kakashi per minute. Chakra control, 99.9999%. Ability parameters. Endurance 10, Physical 10, Illusion 10, Wisdom 8, Strength 10, Speed 10, Precision 10, Seal 10, Total 78. Ninjutsu. Upgraded 3 body technique, Earth Style. Tyrone gun, Earth Style. Stone mirror wall, Sky stepping technique, Rasengan, Wind Style. Spiral shuriken, 6 paths. Yin Yang Rasengan, Secret technique. Heavenly Resentment U, Invincible Flying Thunder God. Physical skills. Tai Chi. Illusion. Magic. Narakumi technique. Sealing technique. 5 elements seal. Bloodline. Left eye Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, right eye Golden Rinnegan, Rock Release. Disciples. Uzumaki Naruto, S-level qualification. Uchiha Sasuke, S-level, Haruno Sakura, A-level, Nobita, C-level, Rock Lee, A-level, Senju Nawaki, S-level, Hyuga Neji, A+ grade. Shui Wuyue. Shiro, A-level. Hyuga Hinata, S-level. Very good. Shiro and Hinata's qualifications are both good. Okay, then next, I will give each of you a tailed beast. Shiro immediately asked, do you want us to become Jinchuriki? Mizuki smiled and said, don't worry, I will take care of the tailed beasts without any risk. Doesn't Uchiha Itachi still have Shisui's eye? It's definitely possible to find a way to get it and then cast distinguished heavenly gods on the tailed beast. Hinata said, I want to be a Jinchuriki. Her eyes were firm and she didn't flinch. Mizuki was stunned, not expecting Hinata to be so decisive. Is it because of Naruto? Naruto had suffered from Jinchuriki since childhood, and Hinata probably wanted to experience the pain Naruto had suffered, so she made up her mind so quickly. Seeing this, Bai no longer hesitated and said, I am willing too. Hinata agreed even to a woman. As a man, he should be more decisive. Mizuki said, Shiro, you have the ice release bloodline limit, and the tailed beast that suits you best is 3 tails Isotsu. Isofu is good at fighting in water, and paired with Shiro's ice escape, it's just right. Then he said to Hinata, Hinata, the one that suits you best is 7 tails Chome. 7 tails Jinchuriki has the ability to fly, and paired with Hyuga's 8 trigrams air palm, it can attack enemies from the air. The two said, it all depends on the teacher. Next, Mizuki found Kushina agreed, and the 4 of them entered the Kamui space. Mizuki led them to a certain place. When he looked up, he saw 5 meteorites floating in the sky. Planetary devastation, solution. As he spoke, the 2 meteorites began to disintegrate, soon revealing 3 tails Isofu and 7 tails Chome. At this time, the eyes of these 2-tailed beasts both looked like Sharingan, and they were obviously controlled by Mizuki using Genjutsu. Kushina, let's do it. Chapter 220. Complete body 10 tails, chakra fruit. Kushina quickly carved the sealing technique on the ground. This was the 8-sign seal, the same seal inside Naruto's body. While the 8-sign seal seals the tailed beast, it can also restore the tailed beast's chakra leaked from the seal into the host's chakra for the host to use. Which of you comes first? Hinata immediately stood up. It could be seen that she was still a little timid in her eyes, but her steps were firm without any flinching or hesitation. Kushina said, Hinata, come here, I will carve the technique on your abdomen next. Then he turned to Mizuki and said, you are a man, stay out of the way. Mizuki turned away. Kushina glanced at Shui Wuiwei again. Bye, but didn't say anything. Bai immediately said, I am also a man. Then he turned around and avoided it. Mizuki smiled and said, to be honest, Shiro really doesn't look like a man. His figure, appearance, clothing, and temperament are more feminine than a woman. If they hadn't soaked in a hot spring together and verified it with their own eyes, Mizuki would never have believed that he was a man. I don't know what's wrong with Zabuza that turned a good little boy into the indistinguishable androgynous person he is today. Hinata lifted the clothes around her abdomen and Kushina began to draw the technique. Okay, now that the technique is finished, you can just sit here and don't worry about anything else. Hinata sat down obediently but felt a little uneasy. Kushina comforted, don't worry, it won't hurt, and there is no discomfort. As she said that, a bad taste suddenly arose in her heart. She smiled and said, not only won't you feel uncomfortable, but you'll also feel strange. Hinata asked curiously, what a strange feeling. Kushina. Suddenly there is an extra life in your body. You will wonder, are you pregnant, about to be a mother, or about to give birth to a baby? Ah, Hinata blushed immediately. When I am a mother, I give birth to a baby. Hinata became more and more embarrassed as she thought about it, and her face started to smoke. Kushina smiled inwardly, this little Hinata is so funny. Seeing that Hinata was going to faint if things continued like this, Kushina immediately said, haha, I'm just kidding. If this really happens, Naruto will be embarrassed to death. If a boy gives birth to a baby, he will be laughed at. When Hinata heard this, she immediately laughed. The smile in Kushina's eyes got even bigger. Sure enough, the mention of Naruto immediately diverted Hinata's attention. My little Naruto, wasn't he a troublemaker in Konoha before? There are girls who like such a brat, isn't this little Hinata short-sighted? Kushina felt that if she were around Naruto's age, she would definitely look down on Naruto. It's also a shame that Naruto didn't know Kushina's thoughts, otherwise he would definitely be autistic. Okay, now we have to seal it. Hinata, be mentally prepared. If you are scared for a while, just close your eyes and you will be fine soon. Advertisement Hinata said, Aunt Kushina, I'm ready, I won't be afraid, let's start now. Kushina nodded, turned around and said, Mizuki, move 7 tails to the center of the technique, and leave the rest to me. Mizuki manipulated gravity and moved 7 tails Chome to the center of the technique. After all the preparations were done, Kushina sat behind Hinata and quickly formed seals with her hands. The next moment, 5 chains sprang out from her abdomen. The chains were drilled directly into Hinata's body, then drilled out of Hinata's abdomen, and then drilled into the ground. By the time the chains came out of the ground, they had become very thick. They were distributed in the 5 directions of the technique and sprang up to bind 7 tails tightly. Kushina continued to form seals, and the spell on the ground began to emit a dazzling light. These rays of light enveloped 7 tails, and then under the pull of the chain, the red chakra on 7 tails flowed towards Hinata's abdomen like a river. The sealing technique on Hinata's abdomen also emitted light, forming a black hole that swallowed all the 7 tails chakra. Due to the control of illusion, 7 tails did not make any resistance during the whole process. 7 tails' body quickly became smaller, and finally disappeared together with the sealing technique on the ground, completely entering Hinata's body. Kushina forms the seal again. The chain was retracted, and the technique on Hinata's abdomen began to rotate, forming a circular closed door. Then, the door and the technique disappeared. Call. Kushina breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. It's done. It was so easy to seal the tailed beast this time. There was no resistance at all. It was all thanks to Mizuki's genjutsu. Hinata felt it a little bit, but there was nothing strange about it. There was an extra tailed beast inside her body, but she couldn't even notice it. She hurriedly asked, Aunt Kushina, where's the tailed beast? How can I borrow the tailed beast's chakra? Kushina smiled and said, don't worry, you have just become a Jinchuriki and are not familiar with it yet. After Bangbai seals 3 tails, I will impart some experience to you. In the future, you still need to communicate with the tailed beasts yourself, gradually accumulate experience, and gradually become familiar with the power of Jinchuriki. Seeing that the seal was completed, Mizuki turned around. Hinata, you can actually control the tailed beast with the help of your eyes. Kushina asked confused. Baikugan can also control tailed beasts? Why haven't I heard of it? Mizuki. It's not Byakugan, but Tensigan. Hinata's Byakugan is extremely pure. With the blessing of Senjutsu Chakra, she will become Tensigan. Tensigan is an eye on the same level as Rinnegan. He can easily control tailed beasts and use the power of tailed beasts for his own use. Let alone 7 tails, Tensigan can easily control even 10 tails. After all, they are eyes of the same level as Rinnegan, and Tensigan owners can also become 10 tails Jinchuriki. However, Hinata's Tensigan is temporary and relies on the magic chakra. Mizuki feels that Hinata must practice Senjutsu in the future, otherwise it would be a waste if such a powerful power as Tensigan cannot be used at all times. Next, it's Bai's turn. Kushina, work harder. Kushina had no complaints and carved the spell on the ground again. In Mizuki's mind, the voice of the system sounded. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants the disciple Hyuga Hinata the tailed beast 7 tails Chome, triggering a 3000 times return. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement, congratulations to host, you got a complete 10 tails and a chakra fruit as a gift. Close black lens bracket. Note 1. This 10 tails is completely obedient to the host, and the host can become 10 tails Jinchuriki at any time. Close black lens bracket. In Mizuki's mind, there were immediately many ways to become 10 tails Jinchuriki. This is included with the system. Note 2. The chakra fruit is produced by the sacred tree and contains the power of a planet. After eating, the chakra will undergo a qualitative change, and the amount of chakra will also increase significantly. Close black lens bracket. 10 tails and chakra fruits are stored in the system space and can be accessed by the host at any time. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki grinned. Black Zetsu, Uchiha Madara, and Uchiha Obito are engaged in various conspiracies. Aren't they just trying to gather the 9-tailed beasts and synthesize 10 tails? It can be said that they have worked hard and exhausted their energy for 10 tails. But it's Mizuki's turn, and Mizuki gets it easily. A cheating life is unreasonable. He wished he could laugh loudly to vent his feelings, but there are other people here. If you laugh too arrogantly, you will be regarded as crazy. By the way, system, what are complete 10 tails? Is there a castrated version of 10 tails? Is Otsutsuki Kaguya's 10 tails perfect or incomplete? The system replied. The complete body 10 tails is grown after absorbing all the energy of the entire planet. Close black lens bracket. Otsutsuki Kaguya's 10 tails were picked and eaten by Kaguya before they could absorb the entire planet's energy, causing its growth to stagnate and become an incomplete body. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki is even happier. The incomplete 10 tails is so awesome, wouldn't the complete version be even more awesome? After the 3 tails are sealed, I will send them out, eat the chakra fruit, and seal the 10 tails into their bodies. Next, 3 tails Isofu seal went smoothly. Half an hour later, Haku became 3 tails Jinchuriki. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants the disciple Mizutsuki the white-tailed beast 3 tails, triggering a 1000 times return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you are a perfect 10 tails. Close black lens bracket. This time I only set out 1000 times and returned only 10 tails and no chakra fruit. At this time, the system prompted, host, please note that tailed beasts cannot be awarded to disciples repeatedly. Each tailed beast can only trigger the system return once. Close black lens bracket. This is because Mizuki is afraid of repeatedly picking up the wool. Mizuki rolled his eyes. TCH, stingy. By the way, I have 2 10 tails now, and I want 1. What will I do with the remaining 1? For Naruto, Mizuki completely trusted Naruto. Naruto was not Sasuke and would never betray him, so he gave him 10 tails without any psychological pressure. This is another prompt from the system. If host collects 9 10 tails, it can synthesize a starry sky beast. Close black lens bracket. The starry sky beast is comparable in size to stars and feeds on stars. Its strength far exceeds the 6 pads level and is close to the god level. The star beast can also be sealed within the body and become a Jinchuriki. Close black lens bracket. Starry sky beast. Close to god level. Mizuki's eyes were sparkling. Very longing for it. Chapter 221. Skyrocketing strength and immortality. A giant beast in the starry sky. Its size is comparable to the stars. If such a thing is sealed into the body, what level of strength can it achieve? I'm afraid it could shatter a planet with just one slap. Gather the 9-tailed beasts, and then gather the 9 10 tails. The giant beast in the starry sky, I am bound to win it. The seal is completed, Hinata becomes 7 tails Jinchuriki, and Haku becomes 3 tails Jinchuriki. Of course, becoming a Jinchuriki does not mean that you can borrow the power of tailed beasts. They also need to work hard on their own to gain the approval of the tailed beasts. Kushina has experience in this regard. Bai and Hinata left the Kamui space with Kushina to receive Kushina's experience. Mizuki raised his head and glanced at the 3 remaining meteorites in the sky. 9 tails is in Naruto's body, 5 tails is in Rock Shinobi Village, 8 tails is in Cloud Shinobi Village, and the whereabouts of the remaining 6 tails are temporarily unknown. Hurry, we will gather them soon, it's just that the system currently has only 7 apprenticeship quotas. If there are 9-tailed beasts, we won't be able to send them all out for the time being. You can't give 2 tailed beasts to one person, Jinchuriki has two-tailed beasts sealed within her body, which is definitely not possible. Therefore, if you want to gather 9-10 tails, you still need to work hard. At least it won't be possible until after the Chunin exam next year. Eat the chakra fruit first. Mizuki retrieves the chakra fruit from the system space. This is a fruit that emits golden light and its true appearance cannot be seen clearly. System. Are there any side effects from eating this thing? Will the external image change? Will the personality change? Will he be unable to withstand the skyrocketing chakra and explode and die? Mizuki expressed some concern. System. Host, don't worry, your personality will not change, let alone die from explosion. Close black lens bracket. However, a 9 Magatama Rinnegan will grow between the eyebrows, which does not affect the appearance and can be closed when not in use. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki was relieved now. It doesn't matter if you have eyes between your eyebrows or something. So, he ate the chakra fruit. There is no need to bite, the fruit goes directly into the stomach after entering the mouth, it is very silky. I didn't taste anything. It tastes a bit like Zubaji eating ginseng fruit. After the fruit entered his stomach, Mizuki immediately felt the change, and the chakra in his body began to surge. In addition to changes in quantity, quality is also changing towards a higher state. Mizuki sat cross-legged on the ground, quietly waiting for his body to digest the chakra fruit. This sitting lasted all night. On the second day, Mizuki opened his eyes. No, he opened 3 eyes. Between the eyebrows, there is an extra eye, a 9 Magatama reincarnation Sharingan. This is also a golden Rinnegan. The middle pupil and the wavy lines are silver, and the 9 Magatama are black. Powerful pressure emanates from this eye. The pupil power contained in this eye is much more powerful than my right eye. Sharingan is said to be the limit of bloodline, but Onoki's bloodline eliminated Dust Escape, but it is not as good as Sharingan. Advertisement bloodline limit is a combination of 2 chakras, and bloodline elimination is a combination of 3 attribute chakras. Logically speaking, the bloodline limit of Sharingan should not be as good as the bloodline limit of Chen Dun. But the reality is the opposite. Sharingan is absolutely incomparable. Therefore, in all seriousness, Sharingan is at least at the elimination level of bloodline. Rinnegan is stronger than Sharingan, but not to the extent of bloodline snare. Only the reincarnation Sharingan belongs to the bloodline snare. The 9 Magatama Rinnegan between Mizuki's eyebrows belongs to the bloodline snare, which houses 3 powerful pupil techniques. Infinite Tsukuyomi, Heaven's Royal Center. Kagaya also mastered these 2. And Mizuki also has a 3rd pupil technique, time control. The flow of time will change for the person or object gazed upon by this eye. This change can be acceleration, deceleration, or direct time freezing. The change in flow rate depends on how much chakra the caster consumes. The more chakra consumed, the stronger the acceleration or deceleration effect. Mizuki threw a shuriken, the 3rd eye between his eyebrows stared at the shuriken, and at the same time activated time deceleration. Then, a strange scene happened. The movement speed of this shuriken became extremely slow, like a snail crawling. Immediately afterwards, Mizuki changed time deceleration to time acceleration. Then the shuriken immediately accelerated and flew out at a speed several times faster than the speed of sound, so fast that Mizuki's eyes could hardly keep up. Sharp. Although it is said that with Mizuki's current strength, he is almost invincible in the ninja world, there are still people outside the ninja world. So it would be best to become stronger. In addition to the 9 Magatama Rinnegan between the eyebrows, Mizuki also received other enhancements. A white 6 pads robe is added to the body, with 6 truth-seeking balls on the chest collar, 9 truth-seeking balls on the back, and 9 black truth-seeking balls suspended behind him. This indicates that his normal strength has officially reached the 6 pads level. And because the chakra fruit he ate contained the energy of a planet, its quality was much higher than the one Kagaya ate. Therefore, Mizuki's promotion is much stronger than Kaguya's. His strength also directly reached the peak of 6 pads, but he did not break through 6 pads and reach the next level. System. Open the property bar. Open black lens bracket host. Mizuki close black lens bracket, physique. Immortal. Chakra. 6 pads chakra 1 million Kakashi, Senju chakra 5650 Kakashi. Chakra reply. 100 Kakashi per second. Open black lens bracket chakra control, 100%. Ability parameters. Endurance 10, Physical 10, Illusion 10, Wisdom 8, Strength 10, Speed 10, Precision 10, Seal 10, total 78. Ninjutsu. Upgraded 3 body technique, Earth Style. Earth Style. Tyrone Gun, Earth Style. Stone Mirror Wall, Sky Stepping Technique, Rasengan, Wind Style. Spiral Shuriken, 6 pads. Yin Yang Rasengan, Secret Technique. Heavenly Resentment U, Invincible Flying Thunder God. Physical Skills. Tai Chi. Illusion, Magic, Narakumi Technique. Sealing Technique. 5 Elements Seal, Bloodline. Left Eye Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Right Eye Golden Rinnegan, Ajna Magatama Golden Rinnegan, Rock Release. Disciples. Uzumaki Naruto, S-level qualification. Uchiha Sasuke, S-level, Haruno Sakura, A-level, Nobita, C-level, Rock Lee, A-level, Senju Nawaki, S-level, Hyuga Neji, A+ grade, Shui Wuyue. Shiro, A level. Hyuga Hinata, S-level. Advertisement, chakra amount to 1 million Kakashi? Mizuki felt that he had no more chakra to use. What's even stronger is that these million Kakashi chakra are no longer ordinary chakra, but 6 paths chakra. However, Mizuki doesn't know the difference between 6 paths chakra and ordinary chakra. System. Can you explain the 6 paths chakra? The system said. Host, have you ever heard of refining essence to turn into chi? Refining chi to turn into spirit, refining spirit to counteract the void, and refining the void to combine with the Tao. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki was stunned for a moment. What the hell, what you refine is what you transform into, isn't it the Taoist practice of dividing the realm of cultivation? This is the ninja world. What we practice is chakra, what does it have to do with Taoism? It's different, okay. The system explained. The so-called refining energy, in terms of the ninja world, is the process of refining body energy and converting it into chakra. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki frowned and said, that's not right, chakra is not only physical energy, but also requires spiritual energy. The combination of the two can form chakra. System. I know, so the ninja world is chakra, not refining chi. Close black lens bracket. The reason is that the ninja world does not have a method to refine chi and cannot convert physical energy into chi. So it is necessary to inject spiritual energy into physical energy to achieve control and stability. Close black lens bracket. It's a trick. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki was confused. What is this? Can you put it in simpler terms? The system said. Refining chi means refining body energy and converting it into chi. This chi is very stable, easy to control, contains high energy, and releases powerful spells. Close black lens bracket. Chakra refining also extracts body energy and converts it into semi-finished energy. This semi-finished energy is very unstable and easy to escape. In order to make this semi-finished gas stable, an equal amount of spiritual energy is added to it. Because spiritual energy comes from the soul, it can play a controlling role when added, so it is stable. Close black lens bracket. The product of the combination of physical energy and mental energy is chakra. Chakra's energy utilization rate is low, and the ninjutsu released are relatively less powerful. Close black lens bracket. Furthermore, because there is too much mental power in ordinary chakra, it leads to too many distracting thoughts. Mizuki understood now. So, how does this relate to the 6 paths chakra? System. If ordinary chakra is a semi-finished product for refining chi and transforming into God, then 6 paths chakra is a semi-finished product for refining chi and transforming into God. Close black lens bracket. Higher than refining gas and transforming into spirit, but lower than refining gas and transforming into God. Close black lens bracket. Refining chi and transforming it into spirit is based on chi, while refining chi and transforming into God is based on God. Any move becomes more flexible and controllable. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki was confused again. Forget it, don't think too much about it, little boy is too complicated to understand. It's no wonder that all his ability parameters have reached a perfect score of 10, except for Shion, which is still an 8. Like an illiterate, but one thing he understood, chakra was more controllable. No wonder the chakra control reached 100% in the attribute column. In addition to these changes, there is one biggest change. That is, immortality. Like Teruyu Orichi, he can recover quickly from any damage he takes, and he can only be sealed and cannot be killed. This is even more shameless than Tianyu. Now, I can really run wild and be free. Well, the universe is so big, I want to see it. The ninja world is too small. Chapter 222, Stupid brother, how should I save you? Night begins to fall. Rock Shinobi Village is still in chaos. The Tsuchikage building was destroyed by a meteorite, and the high-ranking elders who stayed in the village and the talkmakers of the major families also disappeared along with the Tsuchikage building. This was a huge blow to the people of Rock Shinobi Village. Especially the common people always feel that Rock Shinobi Village is going to end, so they pack their luggage and leave with their families. There were also some weak-willed ninjas who began to defect. The elders are all dead, and Tsuchikage Onoki has not returned yet. This has caused chaos in the management of Rock Shinobi Village, and no one can stop the ninjas who fled. People's hearts are floating. Outside Rock Shinobi Village, 2 people stood on the top of a hill, looking at the village in the distance through the afterglow of the setting sun. What happened here? That meteorite. If I remember correctly, that's where the Tsuchikage building is, right? Kisami's eyes were dull. Rock Shinobi Village, was justice brought down from heaven? A fight against Nanasang, do we still want to attack Rock Shinobi Village? This village is already like this. It seems there is no need for us to take action anymore. Itachi said. There is really no need to take action. It seems that someone took action against Rock Shinobi Village before us. This attack of summoning meteorites looks like Mizuki's masterpiece. From this point of view, Mizuki is probably not dead. Itachi had fought against Mizuki many times and knew that Mizuki was extremely cunning and would not die easily. Mizuki used meteorites to mediate the war between Rock Shinobi Village and Sand Shinobi Village, and this incident also spread throughout the ninja world. Everyone in the ninja world knows that Mizuki can summon meteorites. So when Itachi saw Rock Shinobi Village being hit by a meteorite, he immediately thought of Mizuki. Kisame asked, Could it be that this is an ordinary meteorite, not one summoned by ninjutsu? Itachi said, no, if a meteorite fell naturally from space, its power would definitely destroy the entire rock shinobi village in an instant, instead of just destroying the Tsuchikage building like this meteorite. So, it's definitely caused by ninjutsu. Mizuki is the only one in the ninja world who can summon meteorites. And he only destroyed the Tsuchikage building without causing much damage to civilians. This is also in line with Mizuki's character. Mizuki was merciless when attacking ninjas, but he never had any murderous intentions towards civilians. Itachi knew a lot about Mizuki's character. He turned around and Kisame followed immediately. Let's go. Rock Shinobi Village has suffered such damage and chaos has occurred. Third Tsuchikage Onoki will be in a state of distress when he returns and will not have any thoughts of attacking the Akatsuki organization in the short term. Rock Shinobi Village no longer needs us to contain it, the mission is completed. The two of them came here, did nothing, and got a big deal. Not far away, Kisame suddenly raised the corners of his mouth, and Itachi also narrowed his eyes and looked to the side. The two of them stopped together. Kisame chuckled and said, come out, I found you. Huh, I'm afraid even Genin can easily see through this low-level spying technique. Behind a huge boulder ahead, Shang Phosphorus walked out. Is that you? Kisame immediately recognized Shanglin and turned to look at Itachi. Previously, Kosovo and Sasuke chased Itachi and Kisame together. Obviously, Shang Phosphorus appeared here to find Weasel. Shanglin looked sad and said, Mr. Uchiha Itachi, I have news to tell you that Saskatchewan was captured by Mizuki and is about to die. Itachi said calmly, Mizuki is not dead after all. Shang Phosphorus didn't expect Weasel to say that. He doesn't care about Sasuke's safety, but he cares about Mizuki's life or death. Sasuke was taken away by Mizuki, and he was very worried. It just so happens that Uchiha Itachi is nearby. Advertisement. Shanglin has long known the truth about Itachi's genocide, and also knows Itachi's love for Sasuke. After much thought, she decided to come to Itachi. Although she knew that Itachi could not be Mizuki's opponent, she was so sick that she sought medical treatment and was worried about Sasuke, so she could not think of any other solution for the time being. Are you not worried about Sasuke at all? He is your biological brother? Shang Ling looked at Itachi in disbelief. You massacred the entire Uchiha clan, except for Sasuke, wasn't it because you loved him? You joined the Akatsuki organization and threatened Danzo not to harm Sasuke, otherwise he would tell the enemy about Konoha's information. Doesn't this also prove your love for Sasuke? Shang Ling originally thought that Itachi would be very nervous when he heard about Sasuke's accident and immediately went to Phoenix Village to rescue him. Unexpectedly, Itachi refused. It seemed that Sasuke wasn't worried at all. Itachi had no expression on his face and said calmly, it's just hearsay. I didn't expect that someone like me, a rebellious nin, would still be able to clear my name. Ridiculous. He is dead, what does it have to do with me? I can even kill my parents, so what does a stupid brother mean to me? It's a pity that I can't get his eyes, Itachi said and took a step to leave. Although he showed an indifferent appearance, he was very anxious in his heart. Sasuke was his only thought in this world. If Sasuke died, there would be no point in his own life. Kisame did not follow, but asked Kosu. Isn't Sasuke Mizuki's disciple? Why did Mizuki kill him? Shang Ling was silent for a moment and replied, after Kakashi defected to Konoha, he joined Phoenix Village. In order to gain the power of revenge, Sasuke killed Kakashi in a sneak attack, took away the Rinnegan in Kakashi's left eye, and then left Phoenix Village and entered Ryuchi Cave. Today we got news that Mr. 1007 appeared in the land of Earth. Sasuke immediately left Ryuchi Cave and came to seek revenge from Mr. 1007. Mizuki happened to be chasing him. Sasuke wanted to take the Rinnegan in Mizuki's right eye and get a pair of Rinnegan together. But he was no match for Mizuki and was captured and taken away. After hearing this, Kisame smiled and said, it seems that I have to thank Mizuki, otherwise Mr. 1007 and I would have died at the hands of Sasuke today. Itachi became even more silent. Itachi was extremely disappointed to hear that Sasuke killed Kakashi first and then Mizuki. This younger brother of mine would do anything to get revenge. It was not enough to kill his first mentor, he also wanted to kill the second one. No wonder Mizuki wanted to kill him, but at the same time Itachi also felt deeply guilty. The root cause of Sasuke's deep hatred lies with Itachi. What should I do? If Sasuke dies, what's the point of everything I've done? Will Uchiha's glory end completely in my hands? Itachi felt confused and at a loss. Save Sasuke? With his own strength, the possibility of saving Sasuke from Mizuki is too low. Even, maybe Sasuke is dead now. Kisame, let's go. Itachi greeted and left quickly without looking back. He was confused, so he had to move, not letting his footsteps stop, and pretending to be moving forward. Kisame sneered and glanced at Shang Phosphorus, then hurriedly followed. Looking at the two people's retreating figures, Shang Ling was completely desperate. Sasuke, you can't die. What should I do? Advertisement. It started to rain. Shang Ling sat paralyzed on the ground and was quickly soaked by the rain, but she didn't care. Uchiha Itachi walked in the rain with water on his face. There is rain and there are tears, 1007 sang. Where are we going now? Phoenix Village in the bird country? Kisame asked. As a teammate, Kisame knew Itachi somewhat. He knew that Itachi's feelings for Sasuke were not as heartless as he said. Itachi said. Yes, let's go to Phoenix Village. I'll go alone, so you don't have to go, because it's too dangerous. After speaking, he explained, I need Sasuke's eyes. His eyes can evolve my Sharingan. This is also the reason why I didn't kill him when I slaughtered the Uchiha clan. His eyes are my new light. Kisame smiled, non-committal to Itachi's explanation. He said, with Mizuki's strength, if you go, you will die in his hands. Itachi. After arriving at Phoenix Village, I will sneak in and steal Sasuke's eyes. If nothing can be done, I will evacuate in time. He also has 2 trump cards. One is Shisui's eyes, using distinguished heavenly gods to control Mizuki. If Sasuke is still alive, control Mizuki and let Mizuki release Sasuke. If Sasuke dies, then control Mizuki and let Mizuki return to Konoha and serve Konoha. You can also control Naruto and let Naruto save Sasuke and kill Mizuki. The other trump card is Izanami, but Izanami's performance requires close contact, so Itachi doesn't have high hopes for this trump card. With Mizuki's strength, it would be difficult for him to get close. He only hoped that Mizuki would attack Sasuke later to give him a chance. He knew that there was a high probability that he would die if he went to Phoenix Village this time, but he had already made up his mind. No matter what, we have to fight hard. Who told him that his favorite was Sasuke? Kisame saw that Itachi had made up his mind and didn't want to say anything. 1 dozen Kisong, I have been teaming with you for so long, but I have never played against you. I want to have a fight with you. Itachi was silent for a moment, then nodded. The two had a brief contest, and in the end Kisame realized that he had been fighting against the air from beginning to end. From the beginning, he fell into Itachi's illusion. There was cold sweat on his forehead, but it was not obvious under the wash of the rain. Just then, White Zetsu emerged from the ground. 1 against 7, Kisame, why didn't you attack Rock Shinobi Village instead of heading towards the Land of Birds? Kisame replied. Rock Shinobi Village has been attacked by Mizuki with meteorites. The Tsuchikage building has been destroyed. The village is in chaos. We don't need to take action anymore. Ju. That's it. That's just right. I've detected traces of the Five Tails Jinchuriki Han in the town 20 miles ahead. You guys should go and capture Five Tails along the way. Itachi remained silent. Kisame glanced at Itachi, turned to Zetsu and said, okay, leave it to us. After Zetsu left, Kisame said, leave the Five Tails to me once you get to Nanasang, and you can just go and do your own business. Itachi said, it won't take long to capture Five Tails, let's go together. At the same time, in Phoenix Village, inside the barrier. The perception barrier, controlled by Kushina, successfully found the location of the Five Tails Jinchuriki Han. Then Mizuki left Phoenix Village and entered the Land of Earth again. Chapter 223. The Decline of Sand Shinobi Village, Five Tails Obtained. Sand Shinobi Village, explosions continued to sound. High in the sky, Deidara was riding clay on the back of a giant clay bird, chewing clay with its mouth. Like chewing gum. Clay birds were made one after another and thrown out casually by him. These little clay birds fly into buildings and explode with abandon. There were bombed-out buildings everywhere, and the number of civilians killed and injured was increasing at an extremely fast rate. In addition to the birds, Deidara also makes large amounts of clay grasshoppers, which are only targeted at ninjas. They chase the Sand Shinobi with forehead protectors and explode when they get close. The entire Sand Shinobi village was in chaos. Even the Red Sand Scorpion didn't take action. Deidara alone caused the entire Rock Shinobi village to become restless. In the conference room of Fungying Tower, a circle of people sat around the round table. These are the elders and senior officials of Sand Shinobi village, as well as the heads of major families. Baki and Yura's expedition was unfavorable. Not only did they not cause damage to Rock Shinobi village, they didn't even capture a tailed beast. They have lost their qualification to become the 5th Kazekage. Since the younger generation is incompetent, the position of Kazekage should be filled by us old guys. As the finance minister of Sand Shinobi village, I have made great contributions to the village and am highly respected in the eyes of the villagers. It is most suitable for me to serve as the 5th Kazekage. HMPH, you are just the finance minister, with combat power as high as that of a Jonin. With you as the Kazekage, Sand Shinobi village will become a laughing stock in the ninja world. I am the head of the puppet operations department, and my puppetry skills can be compared with Elder Chio. Among the people here, I the strongest one, let me do it. Are you the strongest? That's ridiculous. I am the elder directly under Anbu. My strength is the strongest. I should be the Kazekage. Explosions were heard one after another outside, and civilians' cries for help could not be heard. But in this conference room, these Sand Shinobi executives are competing for the position of 5th Kazekage. He doesn't care about the safety of the village at all. As for the life and death of civilians, what does it have to do with themselves? No matter how many civilians die, Sand Shinobi village will still be Sand Shinobi village. At this moment, the door to the conference room was pushed open, and Ebizo strode in with a gloomy face. Everyone shut up immediately. Ebizo has made great military exploits for Sand Shinobi village and has a very high status in Sand Shinobi village. Even the former 3rd Kazekage and 4th Kazekage respect him very much. While we're attacking in other places, you're here competing for the position of 5th Kazekage. It's really ridiculous. By the time you come to a conclusion, Sand Shinobi village will have been razed to the ground. The village is gone, So why do you think we are shadows? Everyone was silent. Of course, it's not that they feel guilty, it's just that they can't express their feelings. Ebizo sighed. Sand Shinobi Village, has it declined to this point? He said. You really want to be the 5th Kazekage, right? In that case, I make the decision. Whoever enters and kills the invading enemy will be the 5th Kazekage. Everyone remained silent. Ebizo said, my promise is absolutely valid. Whoever completes the mission of killing the enemy will be the 5th Kazekage. Even if I regret it later, it won't help. The enemy has caused huge damage to the village. If someone stands up now and kills the enemy, then he will become the hero of the village and be loved by all the villagers. Such a person, even me, nothing can be done to stop him from becoming the 5th Kazekage. Ebizo mentioned this, but these people didn't show any intention. Yes, Ebizo's words are tempting, but they are self-aware and know that they can't do it. However, Deidara's explosion style is extremely powerful and he flies in the sky on a giant clay bird. How can they kill him? Some puppets can indeed fly under the control of chakra strings, but they cannot fly high. The reason is that the distance between the puppet and the caster cannot be too far, otherwise the chakra line cannot achieve precise and effective control. If it is too far away, the chakra line will break directly. Deidara was flying hundreds of meters in the air, and they couldn't attack her at all. Only legendary puppet masters like Granny Chio could control the puppets and attack her. Everyone remained silent. Although they covet the position of 5th Kazekage, they are not stupid. Once you get out, not only will you not be able to kill Deidara, but you will also face Deidara's explosion-style attack. If you accidentally die, you will be completely out of luck. So they hide here and don't dare to go out. Ebizo frowned. This group of people really had no hope at all. If such a person is allowed to become the Kazekage, what hope does Sand Shinobi Village have? In this way, if you can't kill the enemy, then protect the civilians. Whoever protects the most civilians will be the Kazekage, how about that? Ebizo is helpless. What he is best at is making suggestions, not fighting and killing enemies. Otherwise, he would have taken action long ago. There would be no need to come here and find a way to get these people to take action. Advertisement, Ebizo-sama is joking. It is the responsibility of ninjas to protect civilians. You don't need to tell me, I will do it. I will go now. With my help, the safety of the villagers will be guaranteed. Yes, civilians are the foundation of the village. As a ninja, you should protect them. Leave it to me, I will minimize civilian casualties. Everyone couldn't sit still and rushed out of the conference room to protect civilians. In a blink of an eye, the conference room was empty. Ebizo sighed deeply. Why? Sand Shinobi Village is one of the 5 great shinobi villages. Why did it end up like this? Strength. Ebizo is anxious about the future of Sand Shinobi Village. As one of the 5 major ninja villages, Sand Shinobi has a large ninja base. But although there are many ninjas, there is a serious lack of high-end combat power. After 4th Kazecage's death, Sand Shinobi was left with only Chio with cage-level strength. One-tailed Jinchuriki, who had some hope, also defected. No answer. The disappearance of the 3rd generation, the defection of the Red Sand Scorpion, the death of Yakura, the death of the 4th generation, the defection of one-tailed Jinchuriki. Hey, what should I do? Even though Ebizo is extremely intelligent, the current situation in Sand Shinobi Village leaves him with little choice. It's hard for a clever woman to make a meal without rice. Rock Shinobi Village. Uchiha Itachi and Kisame strode into the town and stopped when they passed by the door of an izakaya. In the izakaya, a tall man wearing a red hat, a red mask, and red armor was drinking alone. This person is none other than 5 Tails Jinchuriki Han. Kisame smiled. The clothes are so different and the features are so obvious. I thought it would take some effort, but I didn't expect to find it so quickly. This saves trouble. The two of them walked into the izakaya and walked directly to Chauhan. As a ninja, Han was extremely vigilant. When he noticed someone approaching him, he immediately turned around to look. When he saw the black and red cloud windbreakers Itachi and Kisame were wearing, his eyes narrowed. The next moment, he jumped up, crashed through the roof of the tavern, and moved quickly out of the town. Chase. Itachi and Kisame immediately gave chase. In the blink of an eye, 3 people were missing from the room. The boss looked at the big hole in the roof above his head and felt like crying. The 3 of them ran away and gave chase, and soon left the town. Han was extremely fast, but he found that he could never get rid of the 2 people behind him. Even the distance between the 2 sides is slowly closing. You can't run away, 5 Tails Jinchuriki, just surrender and capture him, Kisame shouted from behind. Han Shin said, as expected, I came here for 5 Tails. That shark face is unfamiliar, but the one next to him is definitely Uchiha Itachi, the rebel ninja of Konoha. I know nothing about them, but they came specifically for me and probably have detailed information about me. I will suffer a lot if I fight them. No matter what, I can't take any chances. Han was very cautious and did not support the 2 of them like Wooden Golem in Cloud Shinobi Village. The next moment, high-temperature steam spurted out from behind him, as if a nitrogen accelerator was added, and the speed suddenly increased several times. Like a bolt of lightning, he rushed far away with a swish, running towards the distance without looking back. 5 Tails Jinchuriki Han is known as the Steam Ninja. The armor he wears is a specially made steam armor that can spray high-temperature steam. Now he used steam to accelerate and immediately pushed Itachi and Kisame away. What? What speed is this? Kisami's eyes widened. The two of them looked at Han riding Wechun and had to stop, watching helplessly as Han ran further and further away. Who can catch up with this speed? He was too cautious and his speed was so fast. This arrest can only end here. Itachi announced that the arrest mission had failed. Han, who was running rapidly, ran for several miles. When he found that the pursuers behind him had disappeared, he turned off the steam and stopped. Finally got rid of it. It's still too dangerous outside. I'd better go back to Rock Shinobi Village. Advertisement. It doesn't matter if I die, but the tailed beast can't make any mistakes. He changed direction and moved quickly towards Rock Shinobi Village. But before going far, he stopped again. There was a person floating in the air in front of him, his back turned to him, motionless. But the aura of that person made him feel great pressure, and cold sweat broke out on his forehead unconsciously. Who are you? Why are you blocking my way? Han asked warily. He is ready to borrow the power of the tailed beast at any time and enter the tailed beast transformation. Mizuki slowly turned around in the air. 5 tails Jinchuriki Han, I've been waiting for you here for a while. Give me 5 tails. After Han saw Mizuki's face clearly, his expression changed drastically. You are Phoenix Village's first-generation Hokage Mizuki. How is that possible? Aren't you dead? Ever since Lao Zi lost 4 tails, Rock Shinobi Village has taken Mizuki seriously, and Mizuki's information has also been known to the ninjas in Rock Shinobi Village. So when Han saw Mizuki, he recognized him immediately. At this time, he realized that today might be a bad day. Lao Zi was slapped with 4 tails and still managed to save his life. That was because Rock Shinobi Village had not offended Mizuki at that time. Now, Rock Shinobi Village has offended Mizuki to death. After Mizuki extracts the 5 tails from his body, he will never resurrect himself. We can only fight to the death. A large amount of tailed beast chakra overflowed from his body, covering him with a dark red tailed beast coat. Behind him, 4 tails appeared. He directly entered the half-tailed beast state. Roar. With a roar, the next moment, tailed beast bomb was launched from his mouth one after another as if it was free, targeting Mizuki. Mizuki looked at the series of tailed beast bombs flying in the air, and the golden 9 Magatama Rinnegan between his eyebrows opened. Try your new abilities. His eyes looked at the tailed beast bomb, and then, these fast-tailed beast bombs became like snails crawling, moving slowly towards Mizuki. Time manipulation. He slowed down the time of these tailed beast bombs. What kind of technique is this? Although Han turned into a half-tailed beast, he still maintained his own thoughts. He was completely shocked to see how slowly the tailed beast bomb flew. He also realized that Mizuki's power was beyond his reach. It's quite useful. No more wasting time, just follow me obediently. The next moment, Mizuki moved in front of Han, waved his hand, and a truth-seeking ball appeared out of thin air, flew towards Han, and turned into a hollow ball as tall as a person with an opening, trying to fit Han into it. Han kicked the ground hard with his feet to avoid it. But he found that his speed became extremely slow. The Black Space Gate is the Shion of the Shell Organization? Boruto wasn't even born yet. Why did he show up at this time? The next moment, he was wrapped in a hollow ball transformed into the truth-seeking ball. His chakra was immediately out of control, and even the power of the tailed beast was completely suppressed. Their target direction is Phoenix Village. Do they want to save Sasuke? A dozen Kisong. When the space gate disappeared, Itachi's figure disappeared, leaving only Kisame, standing there very confused. But suddenly, he saw a black space door appear out of thin air behind Itachi, surrounding Itachi. Mizuki had just given Naruto the task of finding Shion, but he never thought that Shion would show up on his own. You also took Uchiha Itachi away. What kind of operation is this? The Shell Organization plans to leave early. Mizuki put the sphere into Kamui's space and looked in the direction of the town. Crushing in the realm. Mizuki frowned. I am puzzled. Uchiha Itachi is here too. Shisui's eyes are useful to me, just right. Totally crushing, Mizuki smiled and quickly approached. He flew towards the town and soon saw Itachi and Kisame. At this time, the two had left the town and continued towards the bird country. Chapter 224. Recruiting Kisame and returning to Rock Shinobi Village. Things happened so suddenly that Uchiha Itachi was taken away by Sizan, and Mizuki secretly said it was bad. If he had taken action immediately, he would have definitely prevented Itachi from being taken away. All it takes is a simple apparition. Mizuki wants to get the Shisui's eye in Itachi's hand and use the distinguished heavenly gods to modify the tailed beast's will. Although Haku and Hinata have become Jinchuriki, 3 tails and 7 tails will not be obedient, let alone lend chakra to Haku and Hinata, and will even find ways to occupy their bodies to escape the seal. There are risks to being a Jinchuriki, but if you get Shisui's eyes, this risk will disappear immediately. The CD of distinguished heavenly gods is very long. After using it once, it will take more than 10 years before it can be used again. But Mizuki doesn't care, because now he can control time. By giving Shisui's eyes time acceleration, it is enough to shorten the cooling time of more than 10 years. Even if this is too troublesome, he has an easier way. That is to give Shisui's eyes to his apprentice to trigger the return. The returning eyes are definitely stronger than the regular Mangekyo, either the Eternal Mangekyo or the Rinnegan. The pupil technique distinguished heavenly gods will definitely be strengthened accordingly. If you are lucky, you will have unlimited distinguished heavenly gods, which can directly modify the will of the entire ninja world. See, Shion brought Itachi to a different space. What is the purpose? Mizuki hasn't watched much of Boruto and has only seen some short videos, so he doesn't know much about the Shell organization. He only knew that Shion was from the time of Otsutsuki Kagaya. The Otsutsuki clan members who first came to the ninja world, in addition to Kagaya, also had Otsutsuki Ishiki. The two brought the larva of the sacred tree and planted it in the ninja world. The original mission of Otsutsuki Kagaya was to offer sacrifices to the sacred tree as a sacrifice so that the sacred tree could grow quickly and bear fruit. In short, Kagaya was used to sacrifice and ripen the fruits of the sacred tree. As for the Otsutsuki Ishiki, they will wait until the fruit of the sacred tree matures, then pick it and bring it back to the Otsutsuki clan and present it to the Otsutsuki senior officials. Kagaya didn't want to be sacrificed, so she sneak attacked the first move, causing the first move to be seriously injured. Then she used Yishi as a sacrifice and sacrificed it to the sacred tree. Unfortunately, Yishi escaped after half of his body was swallowed by the sacred tree. The seriously injured Yishi was struggling to survive, and it seemed that he would not survive. When he was about to die, a monk named Shion happened to pass by. In one move, he used the pupil technique of his right eye, Vagana, to shrink his body and penetrate it into Shion's body through Shion's ear. In a parasitic form, he absorbed Shion's yin and yang to protect himself. After recovering some strength, he dominated Shion's brain and controlled Shion's body. And Shion also achieved immortality because of Yishi's control. Of course, although he is alive, he has become a puppet and has no consciousness of his own. Afterwards, Yishi used a wedge to drive his own data into Shion's body, intending to use Shion's body to resurrect him. I don't know much information about Otsutsuki Ishiki. By the way, Ichishi has a second 10 tails in his hand. If I get it, cultivate it to maturity, and then give it to my apprentice, the return will definitely be worse than the giant beast in the starry sky. 9 perfect 10 tails can be combined into a starry beast. According to this calculation, the power of one starry sky beast is equivalent to the power of 9 complete 10 tails. The system's return can be up to 10,000 times, not to mention 10,000 times. Even if it comes back 100 times, it will still be 10 times stronger than the starry sky beast. There are also Yishi's eyes and the technique of spatial teleportation. I want to get them. Mizuki knew that sooner or later he would face the Shell organization and Otsutsuki Ishiki. It is still necessary to plan what you need in advance. Uchiha Itachi was taken away by Shion, and he doesn't know when he will show up again. Konoha also has a Shisui eye. If Itachi can't get the one he has, just ask Orochimaru for it. Third generation, you should leave your eyes to Orochimaru. The next moment, Mizuki came to Kisame. When Kisame saw Mizuki, he took off the Samahata from his back and held it in his hand as if facing a formidable enemy. Advertisement: the sudden disappearance of a dozen Kisangs was a trick on your part, right? What did you do to him? Kisame asked. It has to be said that Itachi God has a very charming personality. Even now, Kisame is still concerned about Itachi's life and death. Mizuki said, it's not that I took away 1,007, but someone else. Do you think I will believe it? Kisame said, rushing towards Mizuki, Samahata raised high above his head and slashed towards Mizuki. Mizuki said, it's so rude to start taking action after just saying a word. He looked at Samahata, interest evident on his face. The large sword Samahata can swallow Chakra. Among the 7 ninja swords in the Mist Ninja Village, this sword has the strongest ability. Samahata is not sharp and cannot kill anyone, but its assistance to knife wielders is the best. Absorb the enemy's chakra and replenish it to the sword wielder, weakening the enemy while also giving the sword wielder a steady stream of battery life. Even-tailed beasts can be drained of chakra instantly and lose their fighting power. Kisame met Guy and was defeated, otherwise he would never have been easily defeated and died. When Mizuki sees a good thing, he wants to keep it for himself and give it to his apprentice. Samahata is a good thing, and the new items you get after being returned by the system are definitely worth looking forward to. Of course, Mizuki didn't come to Kisame to grab a knife. Kisame was extremely fast and rushed directly in front of Mizuki, with Samahata slashing down. Mizuki raised his hand and grabbed Samahata with his palm. The palms are covered with blue chakra. HMPH. The corners of Kisame's mouth turned up, revealing a smile that showed success. It seems that you don't know anything about Samahata. The next moment, Samahata was grabbed by Mizuki's hand, and the bandage on the front part immediately spread out, revealing a big mouth. This mouth is very flexible. He lowered his head and took a bite of the chakra on the surface of Mizuki's palm. I bit down a large ball of chakra in one bite, and after swallowing it, I chewed it twice with my mouth, as if I had eaten something delicious. First generation Hokage Mizuki of Phoenix Village, you are very strong. I heard that even the god of ninja, Senju Hashirama, is no match for you. It is precisely because you are strong that you are arrogant. You look down on everyone and think you are invincible. But I'm telling you now, you are about to be defeated at my hands. Kisame is excited. Being able to kill a strong man like Mizuki is a great honor for any ninja. He will definitely become famous in the ninja world and be praised by countless people. Mizuki smiled lightly. Samahata can swallow chakra, of course I know that, but it doesn't matter, I have too much chakra, feel free to eat it. Of course, my chakra is a little different, it's easy to eat, but it may not be that easy to digest. Before he finished speaking, Kisami's expression suddenly changed. Samahata was heard making a chi-chi sound and opening her mouth wide as if vomiting. On top of that, he was shaking all over and seemed very uncomfortable. What's going on? Kisame encountered this situation for the first time. Samahata has always been familiar with swallowing chakra. Even the tailed beast chakra, which is full of evil, can still eat it without any negative effects. But now, something is wrong, your chakra is poisonous? Kisame hurriedly took back Samahata, with a look of distress on his face. It can be said that most of his strength comes from Samahata. If something happens to Samahata, his strength will be greatly reduced. Moreover, he had been with Samahata for many years and had feelings for him for a long time. Now seeing Samahata in pain, he was very anxious. What kind of magic did you use on Samahata? Mizuki said. I come to you not to fight with you, but to invite you to join Phoenix Village and let us create a new world together. Kisame is a talent, although he is impulsive and prone to violence. But in order to keep the information, he did not hesitate to summon a shark to eat him, which also impressed Mizuki. Mizuki feels that such talents must be recruited with high salaries. Advertisement. The reason why Kisame joined the Akatsuki organization was that he was tired of this cruel world and wanted to enter a new world. Even this new world is false. He recognized the Eye of the Moon plan mentioned by Obito and joined the Akatsuki organization without hesitation. Therefore, when he was caught by the people of Konoha and about to have his memory read and leak information, he chose to commit suicide. He would rather die than expose Obito's identity. Faced with Mizuki's recruitment, Kisame looked stunned. However, Kisame is obviously not interested in the new world that Mizuki talks about. All he wants now is to help Akatsuki and complete Project Tsuki no Mi. When Infinite Tsukuyomi covers the earth, he can leave this cruel real world and enter the perfect world he dreams of. Mizuki saw that Kisame was not interested and didn't say much. It's better not to talk about unifying the ninja world to outsiders, so as not to cause trouble. But there are still some points that should be mentioned. The Akatsuki organization has White Zetsu. White Zetsu is not a human being, but a strange creature. So do you know where White Zetsu came from? Kisame frowned and said, if you have something to say, just say it. Mizuki. The predecessors of White Zetsu were also humans, but these humans fell into the illusion of Infinite Tsukuyomi and unknowingly transformed into White Zetsu. The true purpose of Infinite Tsukuyomi is not to create a beautiful new world, but to create White Zetsu. Kisami's pupils shrank when he heard this. This is impossible. Mizuki smiled and said, you have never seen Infinite Tsukuyomi, you have only heard about it. This is just a conspiracy, you have all been deceived. Including Uchiha Madara, Uchiha Obito, and everyone in the Akatsuki organization, they were all deceived. No, this is impossible, Kisame exclaimed in a low voice. What you have been pursuing is fake, how could he accept this? That's it, it's up to you to believe it or not. If you want to join Phoenix Village, come to me directly, I can create a truly beautiful future. After saying that, Mizuki disappeared. Kisame stood there and didn't recover for a long time. He didn't even notice that Mizuki left. Rock Shinobi Village, Onoki is finally back. He, Haitu, and Huang too left behind the large army and flew back as fast as possible. Now hanging in the air, Onoki's eyes were about to burst as he looked at the chaotic village and the huge meteorite in the center of the village. Who is it? As soon as he finished speaking, a voice sounded from behind. Haha, it's me, how about it, Onoki, are you satisfied with this gift? Onoki and the other three people immediately turned around and looked at the people behind them angrily. Mizuki, you are indeed alive. Onoki's expression changed drastically, but the hatred and killing intent in his eyes were undisguised. In fact, the moment he saw the meteorite, he guessed that Mizuki might not be dead. Mizuki squinted his eyes and stared at Onoki, and said calmly, yes, I'm not dead, I disappoint you. Onoki roared. Since that old useless toad can't kill you, then I will kill you. He spread his hands and pointed them at Mizuki. Dust escape. Original realm peeling technique. The white cube encloses Mizuki. Mizuki sneered, it's a small trick. Sealing technique absorbing seal. Dust release was then absorbed by Rinnegan. Onoki, you dare to join forces with Gamamaru to kill me, you are so courageous. I'm not dead, so you have to die today, but before I kill you, I will let you experience what torture is. The next moment, a truth-seeking ball appeared in front of him and turned into a black spear. Mizuki reached out, grabbed the spear, and threw it at Lois. Chapter 225. Absolute Crushing, Mizuki's Request. Earth-style Earth Ingot Wall. Kuretsuchi took the lead and made a semicircular wall to protect the three people. She doesn't know what the truth-seeking ball is. Truth-seeking ball is the product of yin-yang escape. Each truth-seeking ball has the power to destroy a forest with ease. The principle is to use yin-yang escape technique to create a body, and at the same time add high-density chakra with the 7 attributes of yin-yang and 5 elements. Because the truth-seeking ball possesses all the power of yin-yang and 5 elements, it can restrain all ninjutsu and has the power to transcend bloodline limits and bloodline elimination. Only magic can withstand the power of the truth-seeking ball. Because fairy magic does not belong to yin-yang and 5 elements, it is not restrained by truth-seeking ball. Merely earth-style, in front of the truth-seeking ball, is just a decoration. The next moment, the spear pierced the surface of the earth ingot wall. The wall of the earth ingot disintegrated instantly, was reduced to chakra and dissipated in the air. The spear continued to thrust towards the lowest without any hindrance. Inomu and the other 3 looked at the sudden appearance of the spear tip, and their expressions changed drastically. The next moment, the spear pierced Huangtu's body. The blow was right at the heart. It seemed that he would not survive. "Dad!" Kuretsuchi exclaimed. Onoki also looked at this scene in disbelief. Lois was his son. Although the two were very different in size, it was difficult to imagine how an ordinary Onoki could give birth to such a burly son. But just by looking at their noses, you can tell that they are father and son. Watching his son being killed, Onoki's mood collapsed. At this moment, he regretted what he had done before. If Mizuki had not been provoked, what happened today would not have happened. At this moment, Huangtu's voice sounded from the side. "Father, Black 2, I'm fine." It turned out that Huangtu used an unearthed substitute at the critical moment to avoid the fatal blow. "Great, I didn't notice when you formed the seal." Onoki turned from sadness to joy, but the sadness on his face was still strong. Mizuki only took 2 simple shots, one to absorb the dust release and one the black spear, which made him feel tremendous pressure. "Grandpa, what should we do?" Kuretsuchi asked. Onoki said solemnly. "Although he is very strong, he is not invincible. As long as we cooperate well, we can still kill him. Since the fight with Mizuki is already over, we can only try our best to give it a try. If you give up, you will die. If you give it a try, you may still be able to fight back." Kuretsuchi asked. "How can we cooperate?" Onoki did not explain in detail, but simply said, "This is hundreds of meters above the ground. As long as I can get close, he will definitely die." With just one sentence, Lois and Black 2 understood immediately. Onoki's voice was low, but he underestimated Mizuki's hearing. Mizuki heard his words clearly. "Oh, you want to get close to me? It seems that you want to use the super heavy rock technique to increase my weight so that I can't maintain my flight and fall to the ground and die. I have to say, you have quite some ideas." The expressions of the 3 people on the opposite side changed drastically. The 2 sides were 40 or 50 meters away, and there was still wind noise from high in the sky that interfered with hearing. Onoki deliberately kept his voice low. Logically speaking, Mizuki would never hear it, but he just let him hear it. The enemy knows the battle plan, so what's the point? "Grandpa, what should I do now? He has heard it and will definitely not let you get close easily." Onoki gritted his teeth and said sternly. "So what if he heard it? This is the only way we can turn defeat into victory. There is no other way. For a strong attack, I have to get close to him." Yellow Earth and Kuretsuchi nodded, and the next moment, the 3 of them scattered in the air, giving Mizuki no chance to destroy them all with one move. Advertisement at the same time, several Earth clones emerged from Onoki's body. Mizuki was not going to waste time. The next moment, the super heavy field spread out, and the bodies of Onoki and the others immediately became dozens of times heavier. They could no longer maintain their flying state and fell downwards at an extremely fast speed. This is my rock shinobi village's weighted rock barrier technique. How could Mizuki do that? Even I didn't learn that move. How did he master it? Onoki couldn't understand it, but in critical moments, his survival instinct exploded. He quickly used the ultra-light heavy rock technique on himself, twice in a row, before he reduced his weight enough to float again. But Lois and Black Soil can't be helped. Onoki watched the 2 of them fall quickly towards the ground, and they would soon fall to their death. He became anxious. "Stop!" Onoki shouted to Mizuki, but Mizuki ignored him and continued to open the overweight field. "Mizuki, please let them go. Joining forces with Mount Myoboku is my decision alone and has nothing to do with them." Mizuki still ignored him. Originally, he had no grievances with Rock Shinobi Village and took the 4 tails from Rock Shinobi Village. He still felt guilty and planned to compensate Rock Shinobi Village for its losses in the future. Even Onoki in the anime is a pretty cute little old man, and Mizuki quite likes him. But it is anime after all. But now, he was in the ninja world and couldn't stay out of it. Onoki didn't talk about ninjutsu, so he first took advantage of the fact that he couldn't get out of Mount Myoboku to deal with Naruto and the others. Later, he teamed up with Gamamaru and Jiraiya to get himself trapped in Mount Myoboku again, nearly dying. Mizuki will not let go of this hatred easily. In addition to Onoki, there are also Jiraiya, and the Toad of Mount Myoboku, who will return with revenge in the future. No matter how much Mizuki liked Jiraiya in the past, it could not be a reason for him to give up his hatred. Onoki was heartbroken when he saw that Mizuki was unwilling to give up. But he decided to give it one last try. "Mizuki, if you let them go, I can agree to all your requests." Hearing this, Mizuki's eyes lit up. "Is this true?" As soon as Onoki saw that there was something going on, he immediately said, "It's true, it's absolutely true, I can swear it." Mizuki smiled and nodded, saying, "Okay, then I will be merciful." Onoki was overjoyed, but the next moment, there were 2, bang, and bang, sounds on the ground, and the Lois and Black Soil had fallen into meat patties, and they could no longer die. "You." Onoki pointed at Mizuki, his face turned blue, and the anger in his eyes almost burst out. Onoki was devastated as he watched his son and granddaughter die. The feeling of being unable to revolving heaven made him despair. Mizuki was very happy to see Onoki so sad. Old thing, I asked you to harm me. Today I want you to feel what despair is. This is the result of offending me. He smiled and said, don't worry. They want to die, and you want to die too. As soon as he finished speaking, Onoki trembled, feeling severe pain in his chest and a chill in his body. When he looked down, he saw a spear piercing his heart from behind, and the tip of the spear came out. It was the one Mizuki threw before, but Huang too used the body replacement technique to dodge. Mizuki looked at Onoki coldly and said, although I agreed to your request, revenge must still be avenged. By killing you, I have already avenged you. But you said that if you agree to all my requests, you can't break your promise. Onoki cursed in his heart, are you mentally retarded? I'm going to die soon. How can I agree to your request after I die? He wanted to curse, but he couldn't curse anymore. All the strength in his body was drained, and he couldn't even open his mouth. The next moment, Onoki closed his eyes and died. Advertisement. Looking at the bodies of the three people, Mizuki raised his hands and clasped his palms together. Heretic. Rinne Tensai technique. The three corpses were all shrouded in rich green light. They had just died, and their souls had not yet left their bodies and entered the Pure Land. Soon the green light dissipated and the three people were resurrected. Didn't I die and be resurrected? And Lois and Black Earth were also resurrected. Onoki looked at Mizuki, not understanding what Mizuki meant. Mizuki said calmly, Onoki, you joined forces with Gamamaru to kill me. If not for a coincidence, I would have died at the hands of Gamamaru, so this revenge must be avenged. Originally, I only planned to kill you, not resurrect you. But just now you said that as long as you let you go, you will agree to all my requests, so I will resurrect you. Does what you just said still count? Onoki experienced a death and had a clearer understanding of Mizuki's strength. There was no need to weigh it, he knew with his feet that he would never be Mizuki's opponent. Now that he can be resurrected by Mizuki and save a life, it is already considered good. Yes, of course. I wonder, Mizuki-sama, what do you want? His strength was inferior to that of others, and his life could be lost at any time. Onoki had no choice but to be cowardly, and even directly changed his name to, Sir. In fact, Onoki is not afraid of death. When he is old, even if he is not killed by the enemy, he will soon die of old age. But he was afraid that Lois and Black too would be killed. Especially Kuretsuchi, who is still so young. He was also afraid that after the three of him died, Rock Shinobi Village would fall into turmoil and completely decline. Mizuki looked at Onoki and said, I ask you to secretly control the power of Earth Country, kill the daimyo when the time is right, destroy the daimyo's descendants, and then obey my orders. Onoki's expression changed drastically. Kill a famous person? For Onoki, this is not difficult. The daimyo is just an ordinary person and can be solved with a shuriken. Although the daimyo was protected by ninja masters, this was nothing to Onoki. But after killing the daimyo, the Earth Kingdom will lose its leader and will fall into turmoil, and the entire country will be unable to function. Whether it is the military, economy, or people's livelihood, they will all wither. It can be said that once the daimyo died, the Kingdom of Earth was basically paralyzed. Although Mizuki asked him to control the political power of Earth Country, although he is the shadow of a village, with his ability, controlling a village is already the limit. It is completely impossible for him to control a country. Mizuki-sama, it's easy to kill the daimyo, but after the daimyo dies, the Kingdom of Earth will fall into chaos, and many civilians will die. If the Earth Kingdom is in chaos, other countries will start a war. When the time comes, the entire ninja world will be in flames of war. Mizuki said, so I gave you time to secretly control the rights of the Earth Kingdom. I'm not asking you to kill the daimyo right away. Onoki smiled bitterly. With my ability, I can control the political power, but I'm afraid I can't do it. Mizuki. Can't do it? Then what's the use of you? Just go die. Onoki was shocked and immediately said, no, I can do it, I can do it. Don't worry, Mizuki-sama, I will definitely fulfill your request. In as short as 5. No, as short as 3 years, I will be able to fully control the Earth Kingdom. Mizuki nodded and said, okay, I'll give you 3 years. 3 years from now, I hope everything goes well, otherwise don't blame me for being ruthless. Mizuki left, and Onoki breathed a sigh of relief. Grandpa, do you really want to take action against the daimyo? Kuretsuchi asked. Onoki said, he is too strong. The original Uchiha Madara was far inferior to him, if we don't do what he said. He didn't finish his sentence. He had already experienced death once, and they all knew it. However, there are still 3 years. In 3 years, many accidents will happen. Even if you are a strong person, you are not absolutely safe. So, we don't need to think too much, just take it one step at a time. Chapter 226. The distinguished heavenly gods reappear, and the Otsutsuki one moves. Where is this place? Who are you? Uchiha Itachi looked at the person in front of him while scanning the surrounding environment. Shion sat on the chair, leaning slightly to the left, with his left hand on his left cheek, and a glass of red wine in his right hand, shaking it gently, showing a gentlemanly demeanor. Let me introduce myself. My name is Shion, and I am the supreme leader of the Shell Organization, Shion said calmly. Shell? Organization? Itachi had no impression of the shell organization and was sure it was an organization he had never heard of. Moreover, Itachi had no impression of the person in front of him. He used to work for Konoha Anbu. He had browsed all the information on various ninjas in the ninja world collected by Konoha Anbu, but there was no information about Shion. However, Itachi was a little hard to understand that an organization actually used shell as its name. Could this organization be related to eggshells? Or is it that the members of this organization are all good at defense, as if they are wearing a turtle shell? Or, they want to be the shell of the ninja world and protect it? It is obviously impossible to infer the purpose of this organization from just one name. Even if Itachi was wise, he couldn't think of anything more without more information. What is the purpose of bringing me here? Uchiha Itachi was calm, not panicking. Shion continued to shake the wineglass in his hand, while his eyes scanned Itachi's body, his eyes full of appreciation, as if he was appreciating an art collection. Your talent is very powerful, and you have the will to die, so you are suitable to be a new container. As for the physical diseases, they are nothing but trivial and can be easily cured. As he said this, he laughed unconsciously. It's great. I didn't expect that. I haven't walked in the ninja world for hundreds of years. I met you as soon as I went out today. I am really blessed by the god of Otsutsuki. It just so happens that this body is reaching its limit and it's time to change. Itachi heard the word, container, and narrowed his eyes. Another Orochimaru, black eyes turned blood red instantly. The large triangular windmill exudes powerful eye power. Tsukuyomi. The sky turned dark red, extremely depressing. Shion's hands and feet were tied and hung on the cross. Itachi stood in front, holding a ninja sword. This is my Mangekyo Sharingan pupil technique, Tsukuyomi. In the world of Tsukuyomi, all factors including time, location, quality, etc. are under my control. As he spoke, Itachi inserted his ninja sword into Shion's abdomen. Then pull it out, plug it back in, and repeat. However, the expected cry did not come out, which surprised Itachi. When he looked up, he saw Shion smiling, as if nothing had happened. Advertisement, I don't have any strength at all, no way. Itachi frowned deeply. This person has obviously fallen into Tsukuyomi, which means that the other person is not immune to illusions, but why is he not immune to Tsukuyomi's mental damage? Very unreasonable, but Itachi didn't stop and continued to stab with the knife. There was just one cross just now, but now there are tens of thousands of them, each with a C-string hanging on it, and each C-string has a weasel inserted into it. Maybe the mental damage caused by 2 stabs is not obvious, but it becomes obvious when it accumulates. Sure enough, the indifference on Shion's face disappeared, his brows furrowed a little, but the smile on his lips became more unrestrained. Sure enough, I read it right. Such low-level eyes contain such powerful pupil power, brewing such amazing illusions. Even I was affected. You have used these eyes to the ultimate level. If your constitution had not limited the use of your pupils, your strength would be several times what it is now. Your talent is stronger than I expected. My luck is really great. Shion did not hesitate to express his kind words and made no secret of his appreciation for Uchiha Itachi. Itachi showed no expression on his face and continued to thrust the knife tirelessly. Shion continued to talk to himself. I must get your body. Not only your body, but also your wisdom, everything about you is mine. When I get you, even if my strength cannot be restored to its peak, it will be enough to restore 80%. Although it cannot be fully restored, it will be much stronger than the weak body I have now. If I plant another fruit from the sacred tree and eat it, I will surpass my peak at least 3 times. The wedge marks on Shion's chin began to spread all over his body, and soon his face was covered with black strips of marks, as if they were painted with black ink. The next moment, a powerful spiritual storm burst out from Shion, and the dark red Tsukuyomi space began to shatter. Itachi's expression finally changed. This special space formed by spiritual power and Mangekyo eye power had never been broken before, but today it was easily broken by Shion. Tsukuyomi was broken. Itachi's left eye was in severe pain, and blood flowed from the corner of his eye. He couldn't help but cover his eye socket with his hands. Shion continued to sit there, holding the wineglass and looking at Itachi quietly. Itachi's left eye was in severe pain, but his right eye was still observing Shion. He noticed that Shion's eyes were tired, which showed that defeating Tsukuyomi also consumed a lot of money on him, especially mentally. Do you still want to continue struggling? Give up, let me plant a wedge obediently, and become a new container. You will become the new Otsutsuki. This is a glory that you could not get even after 10,000 years of training, but now you can get it at your fingertips. Shion was in no hurry to take action. Now he was like a cat playing with a mouse, watching Weasel struggling hard. The more Itachi struggled, the more excited he became. Uchiha Itachi doesn't know what Otsutsuki is. As for glory or something, there is no need for it. Whoever loves it wants it. Advertisement, since Tsukuyomi can't hurt him, what about Amaterasu? His right eye suddenly widened, and Shion's body immediately ignited with the black flames of Amaterasu. The black wedge mark on Shion's body directly absorbed Amaterasu. Tsukuyomi in the left eye and Amaterasu in the right eye were both ineffective against Shion, and Itachi gained a better understanding of Shion's powerful strength. Susanoo. Seeing the red chakra emanating from Itachi, Shion finally put down his glass. The room is limited, so we can't let you make it look too ugly. Okay, The game is over, now it's time for you to accept your fate. As soon as he finished speaking, Shion flashed in front of Itachi and directly stretched out his hand to press down on the unformed Susanoo. The red chakra was absorbed by him immediately. I said that all your struggles are in vain. Without the support of chakra, Susanoo could not gather herself together at all, and Shion reached out to grab Itachi. He was very fast and grabbed Itachi's neck in an instant, leaving Itachi with no time to dodge. Next, I'm going to plant a wedge mark on you, so you'd better be more honest. As he spoke, he used force on his hands to choke Itachi until he was suffocated and unconscious. At this moment, Itachi's body suddenly turned into a flock of crows and scattered in all directions. Crow substitute. Haha, what a small trick. Shion didn't care. He stared at the crows flying in all directions, and none of them could escape his eyes. Huh, a special crow attracted Shion's attention. The special thing about this crow is its eyes. The left eye of this crow turned out to be a Mangekyo Sharingan, a four-cornered windmill pattern, similar to Itachi's Mangekyo, but with an extra-large pinwheel. Shion stared at this eye, feeling dazed for a while. The next moment, he came back to his senses, looking a little confused. Guard, Konoha. Yes, my favorite woman, Uzumaki Mito, was the wife of Senju Hashirama, the first Hokage of Konoha. Senju Hashirama founded Konoha. After his death, Uzumaki Mito protected Konoha on his behalf. Since this is the village that Mito wants to protect, I should also protect it and prevent Konoha from getting any harm. Shion's eyes became firm. Sister Mito, although you rejected me at the beginning, I still love you deeply. Don't worry, I will definitely protect your man's village for you. Chapter 227. One Body, Two Souls, Naruto's Expectations. Beside, the scattered crows gathered together again to form Uchiha Itachi again. Seeing Shion's infatuated look, Itachi had no expression on his face, but he was thankful in his heart. Just now he had no choice but to use distinguished heavenly gods on Shion. Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, and Susanoo are all useless against Shion, and his only remaining trump card is distinguished heavenly gods. It doesn't work even without it, so I just used it as a living doctor. In fact, he had no idea. Unexpectedly, distinguished heavenly gods actually worked. In this Shisui's eye, he had already set the distinguished heavenly gods illusion called guarding Konoha. It was initially intended to be used on Sasuke. After learning from Shanlin that Sasuke was captured by Mizuki, Itachi decisively went to Phoenix Village to rescue Sasuke. He knew that he was no match for Mizuki, so he planned to use protect Konoha on Mizuki. As a result, Shion showed up halfway, forcing him to change his mind again. Fortunately, Shion's will was really changed by the distinguished heavenly gods. However, there's something wrong with his voice. It's different from the one he spoke just now. Itachi was a little confused. At this moment, Shion's expression suddenly changed. From infatuation to anger, his temperament has completely changed, and he is completely different. He turned to look at Uchiha Itachi and asked, "Damn it, what did you do to my host? What is the pupil technique of that eye?" But before he finished speaking, his temperament changed again, and his speaking voice also changed. "Sister Mito, don't worry. I will go to Konoha right now to protect your village. I, Shion, will return to the secular world from now on." Damn Uchiha brat, you actually helped him revive his consciousness to suppress my consciousness and fight with me. Fighting for control of the body, as a member of the Otsutsuki clan, how can I be at your mercy? This scene made Uchiha Itachi on the side stunned. Two consciousnesses in one body? Schizophrenia? No, this is not an ordinary schizophrenia. Even the voices are different. This is two souls living in one body. Itachi could tell by the voice of his voice that the one who invited him to join the shell organization should be Otsutsuki Ishiki. The other one named Shion is the original owner of this body. Originally Shion's consciousness was suppressed by Otsutsuki, but under the influence of the distinguished heavenly gods, Shion's consciousness got rid of the suppression and resurrected. His will was also modified and he planned to protect Konoha. Now, two souls are fighting for control of the body. One time it was Shion, the other time it was Otsutsuki One style. It was so chaotic. The two were at loggerheads, standing there talking to themselves. He didn't even care about Uchiha Itachi on the side. Chance. Itachi made a quick decision and dodged directly to the opponent's side, slashing the kunai towards the throat. But as soon as the figure flashed, the kunai was gone. Itachi's expression changed drastically. How is it possible that you can automatically dodge my attack just by relying on your body's instinct? How strong is this? Itachi retreated inwardly. This man was already in a mental state, and there was nothing he could do even if he didn't die. There seemed to be no need for him to fight to the death. It's better to leave first, but this is the base of the shell organization, and there may be other masters. I must be careful when I leave. Advertisement. He used the transformation technique to transform into Shion and opened the door to the room. Outside the door is a long corridor. There are many rooms on both sides of the corridor, and the doors of these rooms are closed. He didn't feel anyone else's scent, but Itachi didn't dare to be careless. He was very curious about the shell organization and even wanted to explore the base. But Sasuke's safety is important. Although the distinguished heavenly gods have been used, Itachi has not given up his plan to save Sasuke. He owed Sasuke so much. He was going to try regardless of whether he could save Sasuke or not. There is still a chance if you try, but there is no hope if you don't try. Even if he died, he would die in the process of saving Sasuke. But when Itachi walked out of this building and looked around, he was dumbfounded. What is this place? Where is the sun in the sky? Where are the blue sky and white clouds? Only then did Itachi realize that this was no longer the ninja world, but in an unknown alien space. While feeling impressed by the secrecy of the shell organization, Itachi became anxious. How can I save Sasuke if I can't return to the ninja world? He turned around decisively. The only way to leave this different space was to find Shion. Phoenix Village, Mizuki is back. He immediately found the one-eyed Kakashi. Kakashi, these are your eyes. They were taken back from Sasuke and now they're given back to you. Kakashi was silent for a moment after hearing this. Sasuke, is he still alive? Kakashi asked. Kakashi is a very emotional person. All his former teachers and companions are dead, which makes him very lonely. Although Sasuke killed Rinnegan in a sneak attack, he was his former disciple after all, and Kakashi was filled with emotion. He asked if Sasuke was still alive, probably because he was soft-hearted. Kadian is still too kind and soft-hearted. Mizuki, it's already dead, I did it myself. Why, after all, he is still a child, only 13 years old. His mind is not mature enough. He can still correct some of the mistakes he made. And I was also resurrected. Kakashi said a few words and suddenly realized that Sasuke was dead. Forget it, the matter is over, it's useless to say more. Mizuki knew that Kakashi would relent, so he deliberately said that Sasuke was dead. Otherwise, if Sasuke is still alive, Kakashi will definitely beg for mercy and let Mizuki give Sasuke another chance. Kakashi looked melancholy and glanced at the glass bottle in Mizuki's hand and the Rinnegan in the bottle. Shaking his head, he said, there is no need to give me this eye. I have heard about Obito in detail from Mr. Kushina. I didn't expect that he really did so many excessive things. If I keep my eyes on him any longer, I would be disrespectful to Mr. Minato. And I feel so much lighter without this eye. Without the burden of Sharingan and Rinnegan, Kakashi's chakra is no longer lacking. People are indeed much more relaxed. I have already found Tsunade-sama and am planning to use my own cells to clone a left eye and then transplant it into the orbit. You should keep this Rinnegan for yourself, or give it to someone else. I don't have any objections. Advertisement. After hearing what Kakashi said, Mizuki nodded. It just so happens that this Rinnegan can be sent to the disciple to trigger the return. In this way, his left eye will change from Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan to a more advanced eye. Saying goodbye to Kakashi, Mizuki came to the office. Sitting behind his desk, he held his forehead with one hand, thinking about what to give Hinata and Shiro. After accepting Hinata and Shiro as disciples, Mizuki gave each of them a tailed beast. But each person has 3 opportunities to be granted a return every month, and each of them still has 2 opportunities left, so they cannot waste them. What should I give? Mizuki doesn't lack anything at all now, so when giving anything, he still has to consider the needs of his disciples. Shiro masters the bloodline limit of Ice Escape, and Mizuki has no research on this aspect. Similarly, Hinata practices the Hyuga family Gentle Fist. She can only rely on herself. Mizuki can't help much. I can't help them with what they're good at, so let's start with what they're not good at. To make up for their shortcomings, I don't mean to be omnipotent, but at least there are no obvious weaknesses. Mizuki thought carefully. The next day passed in a blink of an eye, and the time agreed with Orochimaru was approaching. Mizuki sat in the office all night, not thinking about what to give Hinata and Shiro. Forget it, think about it later. If it doesn't work, just give me money. The development of the village and the subsequent unified plans still require a lot of funds. Well, too many banknotes will cause inflation, so why don't we just send gold? Mizuki stood up and was about to leave when Naruto suddenly rushed in. Master Mizuki, is Sasuke really dead? Naruto's face was full of loneliness. Mizuki nodded. Naruto opened his mouth, but fell silent again. Mizuki could see that Naruto, like Kakashi, actually didn't want Sasuke to die. They feel that Sasuke can change his ways. It is true that Sasuke is young now. If he kills Itachi with his own hands, he will indeed change his mind and correct his evil ways. But Mizuki is not a person who repays kindness with evil, and he is too lazy to wait any longer. If Sasuke dares to kill him, he doesn't need mercy. At this time Naruto said, I want to resurrect Sasuke, can you? After all, he was my former partner. We practiced together, performed missions together, defected to Konoha together, and established Phoenix Village together. Although he made some mistakes, it was because he was eager for revenge. As long as he is enlightened well, he will change again. Be kind. And Kakashi-sensei also forgave him. Master, don't worry, I will definitely make Sasuke change. If that doesn't work, I will resurrect Uchiha Shisui and let Shisui use distinguished heavenly gods to change Sasuke's mind. Naruto's thoughts were innocent and kind. He couldn't let go of Sasuke. He thinks he can change Sasuke. Mizuki was noncommittal and just said, you can figure it out yourself. Naruto thought Mizuki agreed and was overjoyed. Master, don't worry, Sasuke will never be the same after his resurrection. Also, I want to resurrect little Sakura so that Team 7 can be reunited. Thinking of the reunion of Class 7, Naruto had a smile on his face and his heart was filled with anticipation. That's really great. Chapter 228. Kushina imparts experience. Naruto opens the divine door again. Looking at Naruto walking out happily, Mizuki shook his head. Resurrection of what Sasuke? I disagree. Although he was very reluctant to return Sasuke's high power system, he must die if he dared to attack him. Do I have to forgive him after he corrects himself? How is this different from the Buddhist idea of putting down the butcher's knife and becoming a Buddha immediately? If you make a mistake, you should be punished and you must bear the consequences. If Naruto wants to resurrect Sasuke, he must open the 9th gate and break the restrictions of the Pure Land. And the 9th divine gate can only be opened once every 3 days. The divine gate opened by Naruto can only be used again after 3 days. It seems that resurrecting Minato will have to be delayed for a few more days. As long as Sasuke doesn't die, then Naruto can't resurrect Sasuke. As for whether little Sakura can be resurrected, Mizuki doesn't care. Whether he is resurrected or continues to die, it doesn't matter to Mizuki. Mizuki didn't like the character of little Sakura. He mocked Naruto for being an orphan without a tutor. He liked Sasuke without any brain, and even wanted to abandon his parents for Sasuke. Mizuki accepted little Sakura as a disciple, just with the intention of harvesting the system, and did not really teach and care for little Sakura as a disciple. So after little Sakura died, Mizuki had no intention of resurrecting her. My own strength is almost fully formed, but I am just missing a disciple, so the impact is not big at all. Breakfast time. Naruto's home. Hinata and Naruto were sitting at the dining table, waiting for breakfast. Kushina wore an apron and walked out of the kitchen with 2 bowls of ramen. Haha, I love you, Mom. You actually made my favorite ramen. Naruto had just woken up not long ago. He was still wearing pajamas and a black dog hat on his head, which was very cute. Kushina smiled. It's not just ramen, I also added braised pork to it. Really? That's great, ramen and braised pork are both my favorites. Putting the two together will definitely make them more delicious. Naruto picked up the chopsticks and said, I'm starting. Then he started eating so hard that his face bulged. Delicious, so delicious. Hinata on the side was stuttering, but her speed was no slower than Naruto. Hinata, how does it taste? Is it to your liking? Kushina asked. It's delicious. Aunt Kushina's cooking skills are really great, Hinata praised, and seeing the satisfied look on her face, you knew she meant it. Hinata was a little embarrassed and said, I just eat Aunt Kushina's delicious food 3 times a day. If I continue like this, I will really gain weight. As she said this, she stole a glance at Naruto with a hint of shyness on her face. Seeing this, Kushina smiled even more. As long as you like it. Putting braised pork into ramen was something I just thought of in the morning. I was originally worried that the taste of this new dish would not be satisfactory, but now that you all think it tastes good, I'm relieved. Kushina brought out another bowl from the kitchen and sat next to Naruto to eat together. Seeing Naruto eating so hard, Kushina was filled with joy. Naruto, weren't you very sad when you heard the news of Sasuke's death last night? Why are you so happy today? Have you figured it out? According to me, even if Sasuke is dead, he can even kill his mentor. Such a person is too dangerous. Naruto was silent for a few seconds and said, Mom, Sasuke, he is just blinded by hatred. Sasuke did make a mistake, but Mr. Kakashi has been resurrected by me. I think I should give him a chance to repent. After all, he is still so young. Kushina said, but Sasuke is already dead, how can he repent? Then she thought of something and asked, Naruto, are you planning to resurrect Sasuke? Naruto nodded. I found the master and proposed to resurrect Sasuke, and the master agreed. Kushina immediately said, no, Sasuke cannot be resurrected. Naruto was puzzled. Why, Mom, master has agreed, why don't you agree? Kushina doesn't want Sasuke to be resurrected. Naruto was too caring about Sasuke, and Kushina was worried that if Sasuke found an opportunity to attack Naruto after his resurrection, Naruto would be defenseless and prone to burping. In Kushina's opinion, Naruto was too honest, advertisement. Although the dead can be resurrected, Kushina, who has died once, knows that the experience of death is not a good one. Especially being stabbed to death by the person you trust most is a huge psychological blow. Naruto had already suffered too much as a child, and Kushina didn't want to see him suffer another blow. No reason, anyway, I don't agree. I am your mother, you must listen to me. Kushina is very strong at the moment. Naruto said loudly, but, he is my first friend and my best friend. Like me, he lost his parents when he was young. Although we often don't look at each other, we are the same kind of people. I understand him, and he understands me. After he died, I no longer have anyone in this world who can understand each other. Kushina was silent. She still didn't want to agree, but Naruto's words made her unable to bear the object. After a while, she said, it's up to you, but you have to ask Kakashi for his opinion first. Naruto nodded and smiled. I know my mother will support me. Don't worry, after Sasuke is resurrected, I will keep an eye on him and never let him make mistakes again. Doesn't he want the Rinnegan? I'll give this one to him. Just give it to him, it's not my eyes anyway. Kushina sighed inwardly. This stupid son of mine is actually willing to do this for Sasuke. I'm afraid that in the end, Sasuke still hasn't changed at all, so don't regret it then. At this time Naruto said again, by the way, in addition to resurrecting Sasuke, I will also resurrect little Sakura. Hinata on the side paused while eating the noodles, but she did not raise her head. Instead, she continued to eat the noodles silently, but the noodles came into her mouth more slowly. Little Sakura is my favorite girl. After resurrecting her, she will definitely be grateful to me and agree to marry me. Naruto continued without noticing Hinata's face turning pale. Kushina noticed. Naruto, I remember you said that little Sakura likes Sasuke, right? Naruto looked embarrassed and said, no way, little Sakura likes me, she's just embarrassed to say it. Sasuke is such a stinker, it's strange that little Sakura likes him. Kushina. But, why'd I hear from others that little Sakura likes Sasuke? So I suggest that you just resurrect little Sakura, but don't resurrect Sasuke. Otherwise, if little Sakura really likes Sasuke, then you will have no chance. Naruto. Yes, little Sakura liked Sasuke and resurrected them both. Little Sakura was snatched away by Sasuke, so what should I do? How about resurrecting Sasuke after I get married to little Sakura? No, how could I value S*X over friends? If I resurrect little Sakura first, Sasuke will definitely blame me when he is resurrected, and our friendship will be shattered. I want to change him. If he blames me and is dissatisfied with me, how can I change him? Naruto was confused. After the meal, Naruto went out to continue his troubles. Hinata was about to practice but was stopped by Kushina. Hinata, the dishes from last night haven't been washed yet. Plus this morning's dishes, there are too many. Can you help Auntie wash them together? Hinata readily agreed. In the kitchen, while washing dishes, Kushina talked about the past and how she chased Namikaze Minato. He was hated by everyone in school and no one played with him at all, just like Naruto. I thought he was pitiful, so I took the initiative to play with him. He always said he was quite Hokage, so I encouraged him and supported him. When he was practicing in the wild, I sent him lunchboxes and made rice balls into his shape so that he could eat himself. I would stay with him very late on purpose, and then tell him that I was afraid of the dark and ask him to take me home. It was Minato who was chasing Kushina, but now she changed it directly in order to make Hinata her daughter-in-law. I don't know what Minato's expression will be when he finds out. Kushina likes Hinata, this gentle and virtuous little girl who has a crush on Naruto. Kushina is very satisfied. As for little Sakura, she had already learned about it from Kakashi. She knew that little Sakura had a bad temper, spoke uncontrollably, and loved to play tricks. So she really doesn't want little Sakura to become her daughter-in-law. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. Advertisement. After 2 days of struggle, Naruto finally decided to resurrect both Sasuke and little Sakura. It has been 3 days since the 9th Divine Gate was last opened, and now it can be opened again. Sasuke and little Sakura's hair, Naruto had already prepared it. In front of the Phoenix Tower, Naruto was ready. 9-Gate Dunjia. The 9th Divine Gate. Open. The divine door opened, and Naruto once again experienced the feeling of being condescending and dominating everything. The mental power seems to be infinitely amplified. At this moment, Naruto seemed to have become a god and could do anything. The clear sense of control made him almost get lost in it. In the office, Mizuki stood in front of the window and looked at Naruto. Others couldn't feel it, but he could feel that a strong mental storm was emanating from Naruto. Under the impact of these waves of spiritual storms, time and space seemed to be frozen. Is this the power of the 9th Divine Sect? It is indeed powerful. Even now, I still feel weak in front of this kind of power. Mizuki couldn't help but sigh. You know, after eating the fruit of the sacred tree, his strength has reached the peak of 6 paths. Even Otsutsuki Kagaya, the ancestor of Chakra in his heyday, is not as good as Mizuki now. But even so, Mizuki still felt that Naruto in the 9th Gate state was far superior to him. Naruto opened his palm and 2 hairs flew out. One black short and medium hair belongs to Sasuke, and the other long pink hair belongs to little Sakura. Heretic. Rinne Tensai Technique. Green light enveloped these 2 strands of hair, and the power of reincarnation began to spread. At the same time, Mizuki looked up into the sky. Although he couldn't see it, he could feel that there was someone in the sky. Not only Mizuki, Naruto also glanced into the air, and he could see more clearly. There was an old man in a white robe, sitting cross-legged on the clouds, looking down. Sage of 6 Paths looked down at Naruto with horror on his face. This kind of power has really entered that realm. How is this possible? Where did Mizuki get such a secret technique? It has been thousands of years since I took the initiative to strip off 10 tails. After my body died, my soul controlled the Pure Land and absorbed the soul power of the deceased. But I am still far away from that state. Naruto relied on secret techniques and realized the power of that realm before me. 9-Gate Dunjia, 9th Divine Gate, what is the origin of this Mizuki? Sage of 6 Paths looked at Mizuki again, trying to find out what was going on with Mizuki, but no matter how he looked, he couldn't see anything special. How could he be able to see the existence of the system? Sage of 6 Paths shook his head. We can't let Naruto continue to resurrect the dead. If we resurrect too many people, it will affect my practice. As he spoke, Sage of 6 Paths raised his right hand slightly, and a gourd appeared. He untied the gourd and threw it out. In the Pure Land, a green light fell from the sky and enveloped a soul, which was little Sakura's soul. Immediately afterwards, little Sakura's soul was pulled into the sky by the green light. At this moment, a gourd flew from nowhere. After flying close, a suction force was generated from the mouth of the gourd, which directly sucked Lil Sakura's soul in. Phoenix Village. Naruto frowned as he looked at the green light that lingered for a long time. He has obviously broken through the restrictions of the Pure Land, so it stands to reason that the resurrection should be completed. Why is there no movement at all? He refused to give up and continued to maintain the Rinne Tensai technique, but until his body could no longer bear it, the ninth divine gate automatically closed, and Sasuke and little Sakura were not revived. Ah, why? In front of the office window, Mizuki smiled. In the air, Sage of Six Paths also smiled slightly. Chapter 229. I will join the Akatsuki organization and guide them. The resurrection plan failed. Neither Sasuke nor little Sakura survived. Sasuke is not resurrected because Sasuke is not dead at all. Little Sakura was not resurrected, it was Sage of Six Paths who intervened. Although Naruto's strength surpassed the Six Paths level after opening the ninth gate, the resurrection technique he used was still the Rinne Tensai technique. Rinne Tensai technique is just one of Rinnegan's pupil techniques and does not transcend Six Paths. So Sage of Six Paths easily intercepted Lil Sakura's soul, causing the resurrection to fail. Why is this happening? Naruto was devastated. Mizuki walked out of the Phoenix Tower, came to Naruto, and patted his shoulder. Do not be discouraged, after all, the Pure Land is controlled by the Sage of Six Paths. It's easy for him to prevent you from resurrecting Sasuke and Lil Sakura. Naruto shouted. I know, I saw him just now, staring at me from the sky. I just felt the soul breath of Lil Sakura. I was about to succeed, but something interrupted me. His face was filled with frustration. After opening the ninth divine gate, my strength has clearly surpassed that of Sage of Six Paths in its heyday. The ending should not be like this. Mizuki comforted. Yes, in the nine-gate state, your strength has indeed reached a terrifying height. But if you maintain this state for less than 10 seconds, it has to end. What is enough for 10 seconds? Also, although you are strong, Rinne Tensai technique is not strong enough. To put it simply, Rinne Tensai technique is not enough to bring out your strength. Maybe Sage of Six Paths is not your opponent, but he can definitely stop Rinne Tensai technique easily. Naruto was confused and didn't understand. He could only ask, then what should I do? Mizuki said, it's very simple, become stronger, become stronger. If one day, your nine-door state can last long enough, and you can even break into the Pure Land directly in your mental state, then what else can Sage of Six Paths do to stop you? Or, if you invent a resurrection technique that is stronger than the Rinne Tensai technique, so strong that Sage of Six Paths cannot stop it, you can easily revive Sasuke and little Sakura. Naruto's eyes lit up. Yes, I can't resurrect them now just because I'm not strong enough. As long as I'm strong enough, what else can't be done? Well, I understand. Thank you master for your teaching. I will become stronger, Sasuke and Sakura-chan. I will definitely resurrect them. This is my promise and I will never change it. Mizuki. Well, commit as hard as you can. Naruto finally calmed down, and Mizuki's plan could continue. Looking at Naruto who was still depressed, Mizuki smiled in his heart. You will be happy when your father is resurrected and your family is reunited. Konoha. 3 days ago, Pain's Six Paths hit. But Hashirama, who was rushed back early, exploded with a hammer, and Pain's Six Paths directly scrapped 5 of them. Except for Tiandao Weifei who escaped, the other 5 were easily suppressed and had no power to resist. After dealing with Pain, Hashirama immediately stated that he would go to the Land of Rain alone to deal with the time bomb of the Akatsuki organization. But was dissuaded by Jiraiya. Jiraiya has determined that those who founded the Akatsuki organization were the 3 disciples he had accepted in the Land of Rain. Although he didn't know why the 3 of them developed like this, Jiraiya still had hope. He felt that as a teacher, he might be able to persuade them to return from their lost ways. Hokage building. Orochimaru sat behind the desk and Jiraiya stood by the window, looking at the scenery outside the window. Have you really decided? Orochimaru looked at Jiraiya's back and asked. Advertisement. Actually, you don't need to carry this burden alone. Jiraiya sighed and turned around. His face was exhausted and his eyes were bloodshot. Mizuki is still alive, so this is our only option. It's not like you don't know the news from Rock Shinobi Village. The Tsuchikage building was destroyed, and all the senior elders of Rock Shinobi Village and the heads of major families were killed or injured. Even 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki, who hurried back, was almost killed by Mizuki. Although we don't know why Mizuki let Onoki go, we can't gamble. Orochimaru was silent. Ever since he saw Mizuki that day and knew that Mizuki was still alive, he had been worried. The information returned from Rock Shinobi Village made him even more worried. During the last Rock Shinobi Village Chunin exam, Onoki, Jiraiya, and Gumamaru teamed up to send Mizuki to Mount Myoboku, intending to kill Mizuki. As a result, Mizuki survived and now takes revenge on Onoki and Rock Shinobi Village. From this point of view, Jiraiya and Konoha Village may also suffer Mizuki's revenge. Although Orochimaru didn't detect strong hatred from Mizuki when he met him a few days ago, he didn't dare to bet. He felt that Mizuki just wanted to ask him to help resurrect Minato. After Minato was resurrected, Konoha would definitely suffer Mizuki's revenge. Mizuki was supposed to come 2 days ago and go to the Uzumaki clan's Neiman Hall with Orochimaru, but Mizuki didn't come. This made Orochimaru feel that the speculation might be true. Naruto can defeat the Great Toad Sage. Mizuki may be stronger. Shodai may not be able to stop him. So, only if I defect and completely sever ties with Konoha can I prevent Mizuki from attacking Konoha. I will announce to the public that the action against Mizuki at that time was done by me alone and had nothing to do with Konoha. It doesn't matter if I die, nothing can happen to the village. Orochimaru, you are a Hokage. You should know your priorities. Sacrificing me in exchange for the peace of the village is the best choice at the moment. If I'm lucky, I will join the Akatsuki organization and guide Yahiko and the others onto the right path. Orochimaru remained silent. The peace gained by compromise is just a false peace given by others. But as Jiraiya said, at this moment, there is no choice. In that case, then do as you say. Jiraiya nodded, took one last look at the Hokage rock outside the window, then turned around and strode away. Soon, news spread in Konoha that Jiraiya, one of the Sannin, defected to Konoha. The news spread throughout the ninja world at an extremely fast speed. But anyone with any brains knows that Konoha is playing tricks again. Orochimaru defected for so long before, and later returned to Konoha to become the 5th Hokage. Now Jiraiya has defected. I'm afraid it's a routine. In the Hokage office, Orochimaru sighed after signing the order to hunt down Jiraiya. He stood up and looked out the window at the Hokage rock. Sarutobi-sensei, you've really created a big problem for your back. For a talent like Mizuki, you actually forced him to defect. If he had not defected, how powerful would Konoha be now? At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded in his ear. I'm a few days late, so sorry, you are pretty free now, so get ready and go. On the rooftop, Orochimaru met Mizuki. At this time, Mizuki looked very ordinary. He didn't have a six-paths robe, a truth-seeking ball, or even a ninja vest or a forehead protector. He looked like an ordinary person. But Orochimaru could clearly feel that Mizuki's temperament was completely different from when they met a few days ago. A vague pressure pressed on the top of Orochimaru's head, making him feel like he couldn't breathe. Mizuki-kun, I thought you weren't coming. Orochimaru smiled. Mizuki. It's just that something delayed. Are you ready? Let's go when you're ready. I'll take you there with the Flying Thunder God. Advertisement. In fact, with Mizuki's current strength, it is actually very simple to take Minato's soul from Shinigami. Go to Namendo, put on a Shinigami mask, and cut your own belly. A hole will be made in Shinigami's belly, and Minato's soul will naturally fly out. As for paying the price with his own soul, Mizuki said, how can a mere Shinigami take my soul? I was able to scare him away last time, and I can do the same this time. And I have already eaten the fruit of the sacred tree to achieve immortality. Without the 6 paths level sealing technique, I don't care at all. But Mizuki still found Orochimaru. Have Orochimaru use living corpse reincarnation on Sasuke, which Mizuki had planned long ago. If Sasuke, whose body is possessed by Orochimaru, is recognized by the system and can be returned, then Mizuki will make a lot of money. Mizuki-kun, wait a moment. I am Hokage after all. Sudden disappearance will cause turmoil. Let me make some arrangements. Orochimaru's smile did not diminish. Although he is afraid of Mizuki, he can't show it on his face. At the same time, in a basement of the Hokage building, Hashirama woke up from his coffin and opened his eyes. The next moment, he kicked open the coffin door, rushed out of the basement, and quickly reached the rooftop. Mizuki, it really is you, and you still dare to come. As long as I'm here, you can't even think about destroying the village. Hashirama directly activates Sage Mode, which requires the seal to release the Ming Shen Gate. At the same time, in the barrier room, Hashirama's wood clone planned to open the barrier. Orochimaru hurriedly shouted, Hashirama-sama, please wait. Mizuki-kun did not have any ill intentions in coming today. Hashirama was stunned and put down his hand. What's going on? Hashirama turned to Orochimaru and asked. Mizuki signaled Orochimaru to make arrangements immediately, and then said to Hashirama, I came to Orochimaru today to seek his help. I have no intention of fighting. Besides, you no longer have the slightest desire to fight in me. At this time, in the Konoha barrier room, Hashirama's wood clone had already taken action. Ninja technique. 4 red yang formation, Sage Art, Myojin Gate. The perception barrier that enveloped Konoha immediately changed. The barrier turned crimson red, and at the same time, a huge phantom of Myojin Gate suppressed the barrier. The power of suppression penetrated the barrier and covered the entire area of Konoha. But Hashirama on the rooftop looked extremely solemn. Because he found that there was no change in Mizuki's breath. Myojinman, it has no effect on you. Hashirama was numb. What kind of monster is this? Myojin Gate is useless. What other means does Konoha have to resist him? The mighty ninja god was completely weak at this moment. Mizuki said calmly. I said, I don't mean any harm here. If you are rude to me again, don't blame me for being rude. Mizuki doesn't hate Konoha village. The only thing he hates is the 3rd generation in Danzo. Now that these 2 old guys are dead, Mizuki no longer has any desire to do anything to Konoha. Hashirama knew it was time to stop, otherwise the consequences would be unpredictable. Mizuki is now stronger than he can comprehend. He immediately released the wood clone, and as soon as the clone disappeared, the 4 red yang formation in Myojin Gate also disappeared. I can tell that you are not an aggressive or murderous person. I already know the reason why you defected to Konoha. It was Sarutobi's fault. Now I invite you to return to Konoha again as first Hokage. What do you think? As soon as you come back, Orochimaru will abdicate immediately and you will be the 6th Hokage. Hashirama did not give up and extended an invitation to Mizuki to return to the village. Mizuki smiled, he had no interest in returning to Konoha as a Hokage. But he didn't refuse directly. Actually, I can agree to it, but I have a condition. Hashirama's eyes lit up and he immediately asked, what are the conditions? Mizuki. It's very simple. I want to unify the ninja world and establish absolute peace. Konoha just needs to support me. Chapter 230. Hashirama's doubts, the man from the future. This is impossible. Hashirama refused and looked at Mizuki with shock. Unify the ninja world and establish absolute peace. What kind of crazy idea is this? Hashirama stared at Mizuki and said word by word, peace that comes from suppressing with strong force is just a false peace. Wherever there are people, there will be struggle. Relying on force to suppress it will only result in the accumulation of hatred. When the hatred reaches its ultimate level, it will definitely explode. At that time, the ninja world will be devastated and destroyed. Your strength is very strong, and your idea of unifying the ninja world may really come true, but you will always die one day. When you die, the ninja world will immediately be in chaos. Mizuki scoffed. First Hokage, you ended the chaotic Sengoku era and established the ninja village era of one country and one village. You think that the ninja world can be peaceful in this way, but in fact, there are still constant wars between countries and villages, and the scale of the wars is even greater. Facts have proven that the one country one village approach is wrong. Because each country has its own interests and demands, and the daimyo and village leaders of each country also have their own ambitions. For their own ambitions, they use conspiracy, create tragedies, instigate war, and treat human life as nothing, like Danzo. To achieve true peace, the only way to achieve true peace is to unify the shinobi world. If the entire ninja world can have only one voice and everyone in the ninja world has a common pursuit, then war will never happen again. Even if there are ambitious people who secretly want to cause trouble, they won't have any chance. As long as everyone has enough to eat, is warmly clothed, lives a happy life, has someone to rely on when old, and has something to support him, then peace will be around the corner. Mizuki's words made Hashirama think deeply, but soon he said, you are too naive. The ninja world is so big that it is impossible to have only one voice. Careers can still accumulate power in secret and find ways to create chaos. There will also be various internal conflicts, just like the Uchiha clan. Your strength is very strong, but there are some conflicts that cannot be resolved by strong force alone. Mizuki shook his head. He knew that he couldn't convince Hashirama so easily, and he didn't expect that these few words would make Hashirama support his plan. But you have to admit that the unification of the ninja world is definitely stronger than the current one country one village model. In addition, there are stronger enemies outside the ninja world. If the ninja world is not unified and its power is not concentrated, the losses will be very heavy when facing external threats in the future. Hashirama frowned. What is the stronger enemy outside the ninja world that you are talking about? Mizuki shook his head and just said, you won't believe it if I tell you, but their spies will appear soon, and you will understand then. Their power is beyond your imagination. Even if I am the current one, I may not be my opponent. Hashirama asked, are you talking about the Otsutsuki clan? Mizuki didn't expect that Hashirama actually knew about Otsutsuki, probably from the news sent back from Mount Myoboku. The Otsutsuki are just one of them. There are more powerful races in the universe than just the Otsutsuki. The Toad clan of Mount Myoboku, the Snake clan of Ryuchi Cave, and the Katsuyu Sage of Shimobone Forest all originally came from the universe. There may be countless powerful races like them in the universe. If the ninja world continues to suffer from internal strife, it will be destroyed sooner or later. Mizuki's words made Hashirama deep in thought. He felt that Mizuki was exaggerating and sensationalizing. After all, the ninja world had existed for thousands of years. But thinking about the Otsutsuki clan, he became worried again. What if the enemy is really coming? Just because it hasn't come for thousands of years doesn't mean it won't come again in the future. Orochimaru was ready, and Mizuki used the Flying Thunder God technique to take him to the Neiman Hall of the Uzumaki clan. Hashirama stood on the rooftop for a long time without thinking about the reason. Hey, my wisdom is not good at thinking about these things. I'd better find a smart person for reference. Advertisement. Hashirama left the Hokage building and came to Nara's house. Shikaku, you said, which one is more conducive to peace, the one village system or the unified system of the ninja world? Hashirama asked directly without saying anything. Nara. Shikaku. How come you have to use your big moves when you come up? Is this something I can think of? I'm just a small staff officer in Konoha. I usually think about things in the village. When the war comes, it's enough to help Hokage with the layout of the battle force. It's beyond my ability to think about peace in the ninja world. Hashirama-sama, you should ask the daimyo this question. I don't know, Hashirama said. The daimyo is too far away. I urgently need to know the answer now. You should weigh it quickly and tell me. Shikaku pondered, analyzing and comparing from various angles. Finally, he had an answer. From a peaceful perspective, a unified ninja world is more peaceful than one country and one village. At least, there will be no external conflicts after reunification, and internal conflicts do not necessarily have to be resolved through force and war. Of course, this is just my prediction. I don't know the specific direction, because the ninja world has never been unified. After Otsutsuki Kagaya, the sage of six paths passed down chakra, and the number of ninjas in the ninja world began to increase. The two sons of Sage of Six Paths, Ashura and Indra, fought endlessly, so that the ninja world entered the long Sengoku era. Countries fought against each other, families fought against families, and they were never unified. Therefore, Nara Shikaku has no reference and can only rely on his own imagination to predict. Hashirama nodded, but then shook his head. Although reunification is more conducive to peace, the process of reunification will cause a lot of killings, and there will definitely be a large number of opponents for a period of time after reunification. Lu Ju said. This long-term pain is worse than short-term pain. If you want to have long-term peace, some sacrifices are always inevitable. Hashirama has nothing to say. When the Sengoku era was ended and the one country one village system was established, many sacrifices were also made. So he understands it deeply. Peace is always so hard won. At this time, Hashirama asked a new question. What if there are other more powerful enemies outside the ninja world that attack the ninja world? For example, the legendary Otsutsuki clan. Shikaku's face turned serious. If there is really a powerful foreign enemy attacking the ninja world, then unification is the best choice. Even if they are not unified, the ninja world must unite and there must be no internal strife. Otherwise, mankind will not be far from extinction. After finishing speaking, Shikaku asked, Shodai, is there really an invasion by a foreign enemy? He had to worry. Hashirama said, don't worry, I just assumed that the ninja world has not been invaded by foreign enemies for thousands of years, how could it suddenly appear? But before he finished speaking, Hashirama suddenly raised his head and looked up at the sky. In the sky above Konoha, a person appeared out of nowhere. I saw that this person had pale skin, light blue hair, white eyes, no eyebrows, a high ponytail, and a pair of forehead protector-shaped horns on his forehead. He was dressed in white, holding a fishing rod and carrying a fishing basket. The fishing rods and fishing baskets are all emitting red light, which looks extraordinary at first glance. Is this the Konoha village of 20 years ago? So, where was the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki when he was a boy? Below, Hashirama frowned and asked, who are you? Hashirama can feel the powerful chakra in this person's body. Shikaku reminded from the side. Hashirama-sama, this person has white eyes, can fly, and has a horn-like object on his forehead. He is very similar to the legendary Otsutsuki clan. Haha, you actually know the Otsutsuki clan, so you are quite well informed. Advertisement, let me introduce myself. My name is Otsutsuki Urashiki. I come from the future 20 years later. This time I came through time and space with the help of the Otsutsuki clan's noble phantasm, Plow, to seize the Nine-Tails Chuck from the body of the young Uzumaki Naruto. So, can you guys tell me, where is Uzumaki Naruto? Don't worry, I don't like killing people, I just want 9 tails. Yushiki spoke politely, but he did not try to hide the arrogance on his face. An attitude that says I look down on you and don't want to dirty my hands. Hashirama and Shikaku looked at each other in horror. We just talked about a foreign invasion, and now it's here? Could it be that the unification of the ninja world that Mizuki said is the only correct path for the ninja world to take? Hashirama's heart began to waver. At this time, Shikaku said loudly, Uzumaki Naruto has defected to Konoha and is now in Phoenix Village in the Kingdom of Birds. Urashiki frowned. Naruto Uzumaki defected? Why don't I know this history? Didn't he always live in Konoha and eventually become Konoha's 7th Hokage? Urashiki immediately realized something was wrong. You lied to me, HMPH, I treated you politely, but you actually lied to me, trying to lure me away, and then hide Naruto Uzumaki, right? Since you don't know what's good for you, then don't blame me for being rude. With that said, Urashiki broke into the barrier and waved the fishing rod in his hand towards Shikaku. The fishhook was connected to the fishing line and flew towards Shikaku. Hashirama reacted very quickly and clasped his hands together. Sage Art. Myojin Gate. The Myojin Gate fell from the sky, and Yushiki was instantly suppressed below. In the Uzumaki clan's Namidon Hall, Mizuki removed the Shinigami mask from the wall and handed it to Orochimaru. The unconscious Sasuke was also taken out of the Kamui space by Mizuki. Orochimaru, let's do it. Orochimaru glanced at the unconscious Sasuke on the ground. Without hesitation, he held a ninja sword and directly separated his belly. So he later put on a Shinigami mask. The soul of the third generation, left unattended, gradually faded away and entered the Pure Land. The fastest man in the ninja world is resurrected. Don't worry, you won't die. Even if you die by mistake, I can revive you. Heretic. Rinne Tensai Technique. Orochimaru has no objection since everyone is here. Sasuke's body is given to you. When the green light dissipates, 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato appears. The next moment, 2 soul lights emerged from Shinigami's belly. His mental power increased instantly. Orochimaru immediately used living corpse reincarnation, and the white snake sage came out of his mouth. He rushed towards Sasuke at a very fast speed and drilled it into Sasuke's mouth. Mizuki ignored Orochimaru and looked at the 2 soul rays of control. One is 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen and the other is 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato. Immediately afterwards, Mizuki flashed in front of Orochimaru. The Liushin toilet water had been opened and handed under Orochimaru's nose. The green light shrouded Minato's soul. As for the third Hokage, Mizuki was annoyed just looking at him and didn't care about him at all. Soon, Rinne Tensai technique was completed. With several gloomy and terrifying laughter, the shadow of Shinigami appeared behind Orochimaru. Shinigami behind him also removed the knife from his mouth and separated it from chapter 231, Eye Drops, Orochimaru's Ambition. Fourth Hokage, welcome back, Mizuki said with a smile. Looking at the handsome Minato, Mizuki felt a little ashamed of himself. Damn, he's a bit too handsome. Minato had just been revived and was still a little confused. He quickly sensed his surroundings and his own body at the same time. It's not a soul body, it's flesh and blood. Am I resurrected? Mizuki smiled and said, yes, you were resurrected by me. Minato asked in confusion. Resurrection of the dead? Is there such a magic technique in the ninja world? I am ignorant. Although he was very confused, he was indeed resurrected from the dead, and this cannot be faked. He looked at Mizuki, the memory flooding back in recognition immediately. Are you Mizuki? Your appearance has not changed much, it seems that I died not long ago. Mizuki seemed relieved. Naruto was probably still a baby, at most just learning to talk and walk. In this case, my father's love is not missing. I can accompany him to grow up and watch him become an adult. It would be great if Kushina was resurrected too. Mizuki said. No, it has been 13 years since you died. As for my appearance, there are other reasons. After cultivating the heavenly resentment Mizuki devoured a large amount of life force, greatly extending his lifespan. His physical condition returned to its peak, and his appearance returned to what it looked like when he was 18 or 19 years old. Now that he has eaten the fruit of the sacred tree, he has become immortal and immortal. That's why Minato misunderstood. 13 years, then Naruto, he is already 13 years old. Minato looked lonely, sighed slightly, and asked Mizuki, well, do you know Naruto? Namikaze Naruto. When asked this question, Minato felt very uneasy. He was afraid that Naruto had died. Mizuki said, I know Naruto, but not Namikaze Naruto, but Uzumaki Naruto. Don't worry, he is alive and well. Minato was overjoyed. His surname was Namikaze, Kushina's surname was Uzumaki, and there was no other person in Konoha with the surname Uzumaki, so Uzumaki Naruto was definitely his son. If you're still alive, don't worry, but then he realized something and frowned. Why don't you name me Namikaze instead of Uzumaki? When I entrusted Naruto to the third Hokage, why did he do this? Families in the ninja world are also dominated by men, and children must take their father's surname. It's not like Minato barged in the door. Seeing that Minato was suspicious, Mizuki immediately applied eye drops. Because the third generation concealed Naruto's true identity, he didn't want the villagers to know that Naruto was the son of the fourth Hokage, the hero who saved Konoha. He told the villagers that Naruto was the son of a demon fox, which made all the villagers hate Naruto, and made all the children not play with Naruto. Naruto, who was an orphan without a father or mother, could not make friends, had no one to talk to, and was alone, all alone. The more Minato listened, the tighter his fists clenched. But he was very sensible and did not believe Mizuki's words rashly. In his eyes, Mizuki was not a good person either, because not far away, Orochimaru had completed the living corpse reincarnation technique and stood up in his original appearance. By the time Minato became the fourth Hokage, Orochimaru had defected. Can someone who hangs out with a traitorous nin be a good person? I will verify the truth. Anyway, I have been resurrected. In addition, I believe that third generation is a person. He must have his own reasons for doing what he did. Minato chose to believe in the third generation for the time being and not in Mizuki. Advertisement Mizuki smiled and didn't care. Of course the third generation has its own reasons, he just wants to control Naruto. To firmly control the Nine Tails Jinchuriki is his true purpose. When everyone in the village hated Naruto and ignored Naruto, only the third generation had regular contact with Naruto. His kind smile and kind words made Naruto see the light. Minato yelled softly. Shut up, I said, I will find the answer myself. No matter how much you say now, it's all in vain. You are kind to me by resurrecting me, but please don't force me to kill you. Mizuki was still smiling, not surprised by Minato's attitude. After all, he had just been resurrected and didn't understand anything. I said this just to give him a vaccination to prevent him from having too much emotional fluctuations after knowing the truth. At this time Orochimaru said, Minato, long time no see. I am also responsible for rescuing you. I was the one who released your soul from Shinigami's belly. Minato asked, Orochimaru-senpai, you are a rebel ninja of Konoha, and I am the fourth Hokage of Konoha. Why are you helping me? Orochimaru. In fact, I am the fifth Hokage of Konoha now. What? Minato was shocked. Orochimaru is fifth Hokage. Did he travel to a parallel world after his death? It's too outrageous. Orochimaru explained. When he defected to Konoha and established the Sound Ninja Village, it was just under the instruction of the old man from the third generation, and they acted together to show the ninja world. After the third generation died, there was no suitable candidate in Konoha, so I had no choice but to return to Konoha. Minato's mind was a bit lost. Is Orochimaru's defection to Konoha an act? How come I, the fourth Hokage, don't know this? Is it necessary for third generation to hide this kind of thing from me? Something feels wrong. Minato looked at Mizuki and then at Orochimaru, his eyes switching back and forth between the two. You can't believe a word these two people say. You resurrected me. Do you need my help with anything? After all, he was resurrected and owed a favor. He couldn't just walk away, so it was better to ask. Mizuki smiled and said, I don't need your help, I just want to give Naruto a surprise. After all, Naruto is my most beloved disciple. He has just experienced disappointment, and he will definitely be very happy if he sees you. Orochimaru said, I don't need your help. Anyway, I already have what I need. As for letting you return to Konoha, I don't ask for anything more. I just ask you not to hate Konoha. Minato became even more confused. You ask for nothing, so why resurrect me? It's such a thankless effort. Mizuki said, okay, it's been 13 years since you died. Now it's better to go back to Konoha and find out what happened in these 13 years. By the way, remember to use transformation technique to disguise yourself. If someone recognizes you, it may not be so easy to know the real news. I won't tell you any more, because you wouldn't believe me if I told you. Mizuki knew that Minato wouldn't believe anything he said now. Let's not say more, since Minato will know everything soon. Mizuki took out a glass bottle with a Sharingan inside. This is Sasuke's original left eye. Sasuke took the left eye from Kakashi. After the transplant, his original left eye was removed, but it was not thrown away and was still preserved. After Mizuki captured Sasuke, he took out the Rinnegan from his left eye, so Sasuke became one-eyed. This also caused Orochimaru, who took Sasuke's body, to be one-eyed now. Mizuki didn't give him this eye out of random kindness. Orochimaru, this is the left eye, given to you, he said and threw the glass bottle over. Orochimaru immediately reached out to take it and smiled, thank you. Advertisement. He has been coveting Uchiha's power for a long time, and he has never forgotten it. Now that he finally got Sasuke's body, he can't be a one-eyed dragon. Sharingan is better in pairs. Mizuki waited for the system to report, but unfortunately, he was disappointed. Nothing happens from the system. Obviously, his hope was in vain. After Sasuke's body was taken away, he had only Sasuke's body and no Sasuke's soul, so he could no longer be regarded as Sasuke. At least, the system doesn't recognize it. Oh, what a pity. Not that the work was in vain, at least Minato was resurrected. Naruto and Kushina were both in Phoenix Village, and Naruto had been treated like that in Konoha. Mizuki didn't believe that Minato would continue to stay in Konoha. Resurrecting Minato also increases the strength of Phoenix Village. This was a true genius. If he hadn't died early, his strength might have reached such heights. Okay, it's over, I'm leaving. As soon as he finished speaking, Mizuki disappeared. Huh? Minato looked at the place where Mizuki disappeared and was shocked. Flying Thunder God. Mizuki knows it himself. He is not a genius. Back then he was just an ordinary genin with no talent, but now he has mastered Flying Thunder God. What happened in these 13 years? He couldn't wait to find out more. Orochimaru-senpai, I'm going to take the first step. After saying that, Minato flew away as well. Orochimaru was left alone, and the ecstasy in his heart could no longer be suppressed. Ha ha ha. He laughed loudly. I have finally obtained the power of Uchiha. Through Sharingan, my search for truth will be on the right path. He put back his Shinigami mask, walked out of the Neiman Hall, and walked towards Konoha. At this time, he has returned to his peak. No, it should be said that he is stronger than at his peak. Previously, his life force was devoured by Mizuki and he only had 3 years left to live, but now he has obtained Sasuke's body and inherited Sasuke's life force, and he no longer has to worry about his lifespan. Secondly, with the blessing of Sharingan, he can see more things, and his combat effectiveness is of course enhanced. Indra, I feel your unwillingness. My ultimate pursuit is to evolve Sharingan into Rinnegan and reach a level close to or even surpass Sage of Six Paths. In the air, Sage of Six Paths opened his eyes and looked at Orochimaru below. But at this time, Orochimaru, with the blessing of Senjutsu, will reach Super Kage level in strength, surpassing Jiraiya. Strength is not what I pursue is truth. Hey, I can no longer see through the future of the ninja world. In other words, Orochimaru inherited Sasuke's Senjutsu power. I can't kill Tsunade, and I can't kill Jiraiya, so I'm sorry, Beiruhu. Pursuing the truth is my lifelong dream, so don't blame me. Additionally, Sasuke masters Ryuchi Cave Senjutsu. As the 5th Hokage, Orochimaru certainly knows how to evolve Sharingan into Mangekyo Sharingan. Ryuchi Cave Senjutsu is not practiced by oneself, but is passively mastered by White Snake Sennin after injecting the power of Senjutsu into his body with his teeth. Has Otsutsuki arrived? He has the aura of time and space on him, as if he comes from the future, but it's a little different. The key is Mizuki. What is his identity? Witness the death of a friend with your own eyes, or kill a friend with your own hands. It's a pity that living corpse reincarnation cannot seize other people's memories, otherwise Orochimaru will obtain the secret techniques of apparition, heavenly resentment, etc. from Sasuke's memory. Next, Mangekyo Sharingan. Namendo is very close to Konoha, so Orochimaru rushed back slowly. After saying that, he looked in the direction of Konoha, where a battle was going on. Chapter 232. Guests from Phoenix Village arrive, hope of return. Sage of Six Paths guards the Pure Land, and it is known from the beginning that the real Mizuki is dead. Mizuki now only has Mizuki's body, and the soul inside belongs to someone else. This kind of thing is not unusual. Orochimaru's living corpse reincarnation can take other people's bodies. Sage of Six Paths is curious about where Mizuki's soul came from. Earthly resentment U came into his hands and became heavenly resentment U. 8 inner gates came into his hands and became 9 gates Dunjia. His research on magic is beyond imagination, and his wisdom is unparalleled in ancient and modern times. He has become stronger at an incredible speed. In just a few months, he has gone from an ordinary chunin to a level that is slightly inferior to even my heyday during my lifetime. This person definitely has a great background. Is it a powerful race from the universe? Or is it the spiritual return of some ancient god? Thinking of this, Sage of Six Paths shook his head. No, it shouldn't be. Those powerful races are born to be very powerful, so they have long lost their interest and ability in the research and creation of magic. For example, the members of the Otsutsuki clan are inherently powerful. Byakugan, Sharingan, Rinnegan. If they want to continue to become stronger, they must either learn the existing techniques, or they can only rely on the elixirs refined from the fruits of the sacred tree. There is no ability to research and create on one's own. Only human beings are rich in wisdom, but they are born weak, so they have to innovate. Since the development of the ninja world, various ninjutsu have emerged one after another, which is the crystallization of countless human wisdom. There are also some talented ninjas who have made great contributions, such as Indra, who invented the knot seal, and Senju Tobarama, who developed various forbidden techniques. Compared to super races like the Otsutsuki, humans are inherently weak. But precisely because he is weak, he has to work hard to invent and become stronger at all costs. Looking at Mizuki, he can study various secret techniques and enhance the effects and power of the techniques. What kind of creativity is this? He's probably human. Although it is not 100% certain, Sage of Six Paths feels that Mizuki is most likely to be human. Sage of Six Paths' hostility towards Mizuki is no longer that great. Since knowing that Mizuki is not a Ten-Tails larva, Sage of Six Paths feels a lot more relieved. After later analysis, he guessed that Mizuki was a human being. After seeing that Mizuki was not a murderous person, he felt more relieved. Since it is a human being, it is not very harmful to the ninja world, because the ninja world is a planet dominated by humans. Even the existence of Mizuki in the ninja world is a good thing. The upcoming threat of Otsutsuki, with Mizuki here, can be somewhat resisted. Moreover, Mizuki's ability to invent and create can definitely make a qualitative leap in the overall strength of the ninja world. Sage of Six Paths smiled when he thought of the techniques Mizuki had developed. Forget it, I'll just concentrate on training. As long as Mizuki doesn't destroy the ninja world, there's no need to interfere anymore. Breaking through the current realm is the most important thing. The attacks of the Otsutsuki clan will become more and more frequent until finally the army comes to conquer. And the seal that suppressed the ancient evil gods has long been loosened. Shinigami, the evil god. If I can't break through to that realm before the big change, relying on Mizuki and Naruto's 9 Gates dungeon alone will not be enough. Sage of Six Paths, cross your legs in the air, close your eyes, and assume a meditative posture. The 9 truth-seeking balls under the body rotate on their own, as if there is no wind. In the surrounding space, countless dots of white light appeared out of thin air, converging on Sage of Six Paths and entering his body. These white light spots all come from the Pure Land and are pure soul energy. He is using the countless souls who died in the Pure Land to practice and improve his strength. Suddenly, he stopped practicing and opened his eyes. Sure enough, I'm so confused, I almost forgot one thing. Mizuki returned to Phoenix Village. As soon as he sat down, Kushina came to see him. Mizuki smiled. What's going on in such a hurry? Minato has been resurrected, but Mizuki did not reveal it in advance, intending to surprise Kushina and Naruto. Advertisement. Kushina looked serious and said, there is a situation. Mizuki was stunned and said, what's going on? Kushina, 2 strange people have appeared in the village. You'd better take a look for yourself. She gestured to Mizuki to look out the window. Mizuki looked puzzled, walked to the window, and looked down. Then I saw 4 people standing together on the street, talking about something. 2 of them were Naruto and Hinata, and the other 2, to Mizuki's consternation. Then, isn't that Sasuke? And that brat, Boruto Uzumaki? Mizuki felt messy for a moment. Sasuke and Boruto? Isn't this the plot in Boruto Den? Mizuki recalled that although he had never watched Boruto Transfer, he had watched various commentary videos. Among them is a plot that travels through time and space. In order to obtain the 9 Tails Chakra, Otsutsuki Urashiki traveled through time and space with the help of the Otsutsuki clan's noble phantasm, Plow, and wanted to return to Naruto's childhood and seize the 9 Tails Chakra from the body of the young Naruto. Sasuke and Boruto also traveled together and returned to the ninja world 20 years ago. But that's a plot that will only appear under normal development. Now that Sasuke is dead, where will Sasuke come from 20 years later? Something is wrong, something is completely wrong. Mizuki frowned deeply and analyzed rapidly in his mind. Kushina on the side asked, Mizuki, what do you think about this matter? Mizuki was speechless. How'd I see? I see with my eyes. Kushina added. That person looks like Uchiha Sasuke, but how is that possible? Sasuke is only 13 years old and is already dead. This person looks to be in his 30s. And that kid has the same beard-like texture on his face as Naruto, and has the same blonde hair and blue eyes as Naruto. He feels like Naruto's younger brother. Kushina recalled repeatedly and confirmed that she only gave birth to a son like Naruto. But the more she looked, the more she felt that the child and Naruto were brothers. The corners of Mizuki's mouth twitched. He wanted to tell Kushina that that wasn't Naruto's brother, that was Naruto's son. But now he doesn't want to explain too much, so he keeps silent for now. His ears were already perked up, listening to the four people talking on the street from a distance. At the same time, he was still thinking about one thing. The noble phantasm, Plow, of the Otsutsuki clan is a powerful noble phantasm that can control time and take people through time and space. If I get a plow and give it to a disciple, will the system return a stronger shuttle prop or even allow me to travel back to the Earth? Thinking of this, Mizuki couldn't help but breathe quickly. Even though he has established a firm foothold in the ninja world, even though he has established his own village here and has a lot of wealth. But for him, the ninja world is still a place where he lives. He has no sense of belonging to the ninja world. The Earth is his hometown, the place he cares about and misses the most deep in his heart. As long as there is a chance, he will definitely go back. After the noble phantasm plow is sent out, the returned items may not necessarily allow him to travel back to Earth. However, he had to try, just in case he succeeded. So, where is the noble phantasm plow? Mizuki only knew that Urashiki traveled through time and space using a plow, but he had no idea where the plow was. Damn it, if I had known it, I would have watched Boruto turn around. Although it doesn't burn, I need it now. Suddenly something occurred to him and he thought to himself. Yes, I can ask Sasuke. They come from the future. Maybe they know where the noble phantasm plow is. He was not in a hurry, but listened to the four people. Advertisement on the street, Naruto and Hinata stopped Sasuke and Boruto. Naruto's shadow clone is responsible for patrolling the village. All suspicious outsiders will be closely monitored and driven out of the village if necessary. But when Naruto saw that this uncle looked very similar to Sasuke, he became easy to talk to. I have an inexplicable good feeling. As for the kid next to him with the same hair color as himself, Naruto just took one look at him and felt the urge to beat him, and he didn't know why. Not only Naruto, but Hinata also wanted to be beaten. Hey, who are you two and what are you doing in Phoenix Village? Naruto began to ask. Sasuke frowned and said nothing, just looking around. Boruto asked. What is Phoenix Village? Why haven't I heard of it? Is there such a village? Naruto whispered to Hinata. It seems that he is an ignorant brat from a remote place. Even Phoenix Village doesn't know about it. At this time Sasuke asked. Uzumaki Naruto and Hyuga Hinata. Why are you not in Konoha, but in this Phoenix Village? Sasuke didn't have too many scruples and didn't deliberately hide his identity. Naruto asked doubtfully. You know me? In this case, you should know that I have left Konoha a long time ago. Many people in the ninja world know this, but you know me but don't know. He squinted his eyes and felt that this person was not a good person. Ready to take action, Naruto wouldn't be able to stop Sasuke. Nima, didn't we travel back in time 20 years ago? Did Naruto defect from 20 years ago? Has my memory been modified? Tell me your identities. Naruto's voice became darker. Just then, Mizuki appeared next to Naruto. Without waiting for Sasuke to answer, Mizuki smiled and said, Welcome, Uchiha Sasuke from the future world, and Uzumaki Boruto. Sasuke and Boruto's expressions changed greatly. Naruto and Hinata were confused. Naruto immediately asked, Master, what's going on? He is Sasuke. Hasn't Sasuke already? Before the word, death, came out of his mouth, Mizuki waved his hand to interrupt Naruto's words. It's better not to let the Sasuke in front of you know that you killed another Sasuke. Sasuke asked. Who are you and how do you know this? His answer was a disguised admission of his identity. Naruto said happily, are you really Sasuke? Sasuke was silent. By the way Naruto Hinata, this kid's name is Uzumaki Boruto. He is your son, future son. Already incoherent. Sasuke smiled slightly and nodded, but said nothing more. The next moment, Hinata fell directly to the ground. As for Hinata, her face was red and starting to smoke. Naruto-kun and I will get married and have a son. Mizuki smiled and replied, I know a lot of things. You come from the ninja world 20 years later, following Otsutsuki Urashiki, and came through time and space to protect Naruto as a boy. Besides, in my memory, the ninja world 20 years ago was not like this. He felt that this probably involved parallel world theory or something, which was difficult to understand anyway. The past and the future are not static. Just treat it as a tourist and don't care so much. Naruto was a little nervous and asked, It feels weird. Are you really my son? Mizuki shook his head and said, This matter is difficult to explain. Boruto pointed at Mizuki and said repeatedly, You. Naruto and Hinata immediately looked at Boruto. At this time, Sasuke asked, I know you, Mr. Mizuki of Konoha Shinobi School, but I remember that you died very young. Find a place to sit for a while, and let's get to know each other again. He was shocked, but he couldn't say anything. Chapter 233. Minato returns to the village, annoying kid. The quickest responder was Boruto. After all, she was his mother, how could he bear to see her fall to the ground like this? He rushed to Hinata's side first and supported her. At the same time, he muttered, "Why was my mother so shy when she was little?" She suddenly blushed. "It's completely different from the strong-willed mother I remember. And Dad, he doesn't care about Mom at all, and he doesn't even come to help me," he said, giving Naruto a dirty look. Naruto's mind was not on Hinata at all. He just asked, Are you really my future son?" At this moment, Naruto felt good. An unprecedented sense of novelty surrounded him. "I'm only 13 years old, now I'm a father." Boruto tilted his head and said, "No." Mizuki said, "Let's go, find a place to sit, and tell me if you have anything to do." At this moment, Kushina rushed over and shouted from afar, "Where is my grandson? Where is he? Let grandma give him a hug." Large-scale family recognition scene. After a while, everyone found a tavern and sat down. Several people came after hearing the news to see Naruto's son. Gaara, Zabuza and Haku, Sai, Neji and his son. Boruto was held tightly by Kushina, kissing and touching him, which made Naruto a little jealous. "Since you are here, it means that Otsutsuki Urashiki is also here." "Where is he?" Mizuki asked. It was just a casual question, but I didn't really care at all. Even if Urashiki comes, it won't matter. Naruto can kill him by himself without taking action. Sasuke shook his head and said, "We were separated from Urashiki when we traveled through time and space. I don't know where he is. But I know one thing. The purpose of his coming back this time is for the 9 tails in Naruto's body, so I will stay here." To be honest, after reforming his evil ways, Sasuke still has a pretty good personality. Well, it can't be called reforming, it should be said that Sasuke formed a seal of reconciliation with Naruto. At least Mizuki didn't have any murderous intention when facing Sasuke in front of him. Actually, you don't need to worry. The current Naruto is not something that just Urashiki can deal with. Not to mention Urashiki, even with Momoshiki and Jinchiki together, Naruto can beat them all. Sasuke looked at Naruto in surprise. "You are only 13 years old, how can you be so strong?" "When I traveled through time and space, what the hell did I end up in? This is definitely not the ninja world that I remember 20 years ago." In Sasuke's eyes, Sharingan appeared, and he immediately saw the chakra flowing in Naruto's body. "It doesn't seem to be anything special. I haven't even learned to control the 9 tails chakra." Sasuke thought Mizuki was joking and shook his head secretly. Just then, he caught a glimpse of Mizuki. Then he was stunned by the countless terrifying chakra inside Mizuki. This is, what kind of monster is this? Sasuke saw 10 tails and was surprised by the vast amount of 10 tails chakra. During the battle with Naruto at the End Valley, he also controlled the 9-tailed beasts and gathered the chakra of the 9-tailed beasts into his own body, reaching the 6 paths level, and the chakra could not be used up. He also faced the enemy Otsutsuki Kagaya, the terrifying woman who brought together almost all the chakras in the ninja world, and was worthy of the title of the ancestor of the chakras. Advertisement. But now, when he saw Mizuki, he realized that 10 tails, 6 paths, and Kagaya were all younger brothers. Compared with Kagaya and Mizuki, if Kaguya's chakra is like a river, then Mizuki's chakra is like an ocean. After all, what Kagaya ate was just inferior fruit from the sacred tree. And Mizuki, who already has a huge amount of chakra, ate the full version of the fruit of the sacred tree. So, when I traveled through time and space, where did I end up? Sasuke was a little doubtful about life. Why does it feel like I'm dreaming? In the memory, Mizuki was clearly a villain and encouraged Naruto to steal the sealed book, and then was defeated by Naruto and sent to prison. But here, why is it different? Also, Naruto is obviously an orphan, why does he have an extra mother? Zabuza and Haku obviously died in the Land of Waves, why are they here? Isn't Gaara the 5th Kazekage of San Shinobi Village? Why is he here? Where are the dark circles under his eyes? Wasn't Sai's brother Shin dead long ago? He couldn't help but ask Mizuki again. What on earth is going on? Why is it different from what I remember? Mizuki said, "Have you ever heard of the parallel world theory?" Sasuke looked confused. This is also the ninja world, but it belongs to 2 branches with different development directions from the ninja world you remember. Mizuki is not making nonsense. There is indeed a parallel world in the ninja world. In the anime, there is a parallel world where little Sakura comes to the ninja world, and in that world, her parents are no longer civilians, but have the influence to save the village, and her father is the 4th Hokage. Seeing that Sasuke was still frowning, Mizuki stopped explaining and just said, "In short, this is not the ninja world in your memory, but another ninja world. The 2 worlds have similarities and differences. Okay, let's talk about the Otsutsuki clan's noble phantasm plow. That thing can control time and allow the Otsutsuki clan to travel through time and space at will. This is an ominous thing for the ninja world. Because Otsutsuki can use this noble phantasm to go back in time and attack the strong ninjas in his childhood. So I want to know the whereabouts of the plow, find it, seal it or destroy it, and prevent it from being used by the Otsutsuki clan." "Do you know the whereabouts of the plow?" Mizuki finally asked what he desperately wanted to know. "The plow allows people to travel through time and space, and whether they can return to the earth depends on it. Mizuki was full of expectations and wanted to get the plow immediately. Sasuke looked at Mizuki and said, "It is said that the plow was found by Konoha shinobi on the seabed somewhere. No one knows how to use it, and it has been kept in Konoha's treasure house. At this time, the plow is still on the bottom of the sea, but I don't know where exactly it is." Mizuki frowned. The ocean area of the ninja world is not small, and there is no specific location. If you want to find a plow, you are really looking for a needle in a haystack. Mizuki was a little reluctant, but he also knew that Sasuke, who was in the Boruto 10 dynasty, wandered around the ninja world all year round and rarely returned to Konoha. It was normal that he didn't know much about plows. But if this happens, I don't know how long it will take until Konoha finds a plow. Moreover, the ninja world has changed a lot under his influence. It is unknown whether Konoha will still look for a plow and whether it can be found. It is even possible that the plow hidden somewhere on the bottom of the sea will never come out. Depend on. Mizuki couldn't help but curse inwardly, feeling a little discouraged. Originally full of hope, Mizuki instantly became disappointed with Sasuke's answer. However, after finally gaining hope of returning to Earth, Mizuki was unwilling to give up. "No, I can't give up. Even if I search every inch of the seabed, I will still find it. This is the only hope, we must not give up easily." Konoha Village. The battle continues, with Otsutsuki Urashirama fighting Senju Hashirama. Advertisement originally, Urashiki hit the Myojin Gate in one encounter, and Hashirama thought that would be enough. But the Otsutsuki clan can't be that simple. Otsutsuki has Byakugan and can detect attacks from any Kakuzu. Although the Myojin Gate coming from him is unexpected, how could Urashiki not see it? The moment the Myojin Gate lowered, Urashiki turned into a red paper crane and disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already standing behind Hashirama. The red fishhook, pulled by the fishing line, hooked onto Hashirama. Hashirama's chakra was instantly fished away. But Hashirama is the body of Impure World reincarnation, and the chakra is infinite. Although it was fished away, it recovered quickly and was full again in the blink of an eye. The two of them used their physical skills to exchange several moves, but no one took advantage. Seeing that if the fighting continued, the village would collapse again, so Hashirama did not intend to dwell on it any longer. He separated from the wood clone, and the four clones went to the barrier class, preparing to activate the barrier and suppress Urashiki in the village. The previous wood clone in the enchantment class has been released, and new ones have not been added yet. Meanwhile, Namikaze Minato has entered Konoha village. He did not use the transformation technique to change his appearance, but even so, no one noticed him when walking on the street. Although some people think Minato looks familiar, who would have thought that the fourth Hokage, who had been dead for more than 10 years, would be resurrected? And everyone was focused on the battle between Hashirama and Urashiki, and had no time to think about anything else. Minato stood on the rooftop of the Hokage Tower on Tiantai Mountain, looking at the statue of Orochimaru on the Hokage Rock. His expression became ugly. Mizuki is really hungry, and Orochimaru really became the fifth Hokage. In this way, Naruto's childhood experience. Minato originally wanted to intervene in the battle between Hashirama and Urashiki, but now, he urgently wants to know what Naruto's childhood life was like. The next moment, he flashed to the Hokage Rock, stood on top of his statue, and glanced downwards. Soon he saw the target he was looking for. That was a young ninja wearing sunglasses and a Jonin vest, a former member of the 4th Hokage escort team, Yamashiro Aoba. Yamashiro Aoba was concentrating on the battle between Hashirama and Urashiki in the distance, when suddenly the sound of kunai cutting through the air behind him sounded. Who? He turned around quickly and saw a familiar special kunai stuck in the ground. Immediately afterwards, a figure in the memory appeared in a flash, picking up the kunai on the ground in an extremely handsome posture. Fourth Hokage, Lord Minato? Yamashiro Aoba felt that he was under an illusion. Minato stood up, looked at Yamashiro Aoba with a smile, and said, "Ai, long time no see. 4th generation Sama, is it really you? Weren't you on that night?" Yamashiro Aoba spoke with excitement. That special kunai, and the way it appeared, yes, it was definitely the flying thunder god. And with such a handsome appearance, absolutely no one can imitate it. Minato said, "It's me, I was resurrected." Yamashiro Aoba said excitedly, "Great." Minato waved his hand and said, "Don't get excited. I have just been resurrected and know very little about the village. I haven't taken the initiative to appear in front of everyone yet. I just came to see you first to understand the situation." Yamashiro Aoba immediately said, "If you want to know anything, just ask me, I will tell you everything I know." Minato asked, "Who is the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki now?" Yamashiro Aoyi was silent for a moment, his expression a little ugly. Minato's first question is Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, this is a shame to Konoha. Minato asked, "What's wrong? Is this question difficult to answer?" Yamashiro Aoba said, "Not really, it's just that Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, that annoying brat, defected." Minato narrowed his eyes and felt anger rising in his heart. Disgusting, kid. Yamashiro Aoba was once a member of his escort team and was extremely loyal to him. He actually said that Naruto was a disgusting brat. It was obvious that he had absolutely no idea that Naruto was his son. Even the members of his own bodyguard don't know that Naruto is his son. 3rd Hokage, why do you hide it? Minato suppressed his anger and asked, "Tell me, how annoying he is."